What's going on, Internet? The Black Hokage here, aka TBH, and I'd like to welcome you guys back to the Gaming Illuminati podcast. We are the Enlightened Gamers, and you're now tuned in to episode 156. If you're watching the video version of the show at youtube.com/GI updates, know this show is available on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, and all other major podcast platforms. Be sure to rate the show 5 stars on Apple and Spotify because we need your 5-star rating so we can get pushing that algorithm and bring in new listeners. Also, follow the podcast on social media. We drop daily content on our pages. We're available on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Our handle on all pages is at GI Updates. If you want to join the Discord, our Discord is discord.gg/GI Updates. Come in there, we game, we live stream events, just doing a lot of cool stuff in there, exchanging info, memes. Links to all our social media platforms will be in the description box below the youtube.com/GI Updates. youtube.com/GI Updates version. Sorry. I'm old. Now, allow me to introduce you to my co-host, the first of which is entering his redemption arc in Elden Ring. Just last night, he switched from a magic build to a sword build, although that build looked a little cheesy. We're going to talk about that. In preparation for Shadow of the Erdtree, UTX Crack Rocks the Dawn. Say what up to the people.
How is it cheesy, man? I told y'all that I respect. It's crazy because it happened 2 years ago. I put the crack rocks down after I beat the game, right? I respect because I wanted to do something different. And then I knew Game Plus and I went through the game again. And then I realized that I had to beat Mog again. I didn't. So for all the people who knew Game Plus, just remember, if you're trying to play the DLC, you do have to beat Mog and Radon again. And I didn't realize it. So I was like, you know what? This is a good opportunity. You know, show my no Mickey Mouse run. I didn't do anything cheesy. So I don't know what the dude TBH was talking about. I just had 2 swords in my hand. It was just me and Mog. And that was it. What else did I do?
I was streaming last night and I pulled your stream up on my second monitor, and the first thing I see is this man jumped at Mog with both swords, hit Mog 3 times and stunned him and got a crit hit. I said, what kind of sword is that? Dude, what kind of incantations is that?
It wasn't any incantations. I hit him with the Mog Shackle. As a matter of fact, I hit him with a Mog Shackle, which people don't know exists. I forgot it existed. I hit him with that, and you can only use it twice, by the way, so you can't spam it. Oh, okay. So you use it once, and then it literally just shackles him for like a few seconds. So I was like, all right, bam. I was like, I just started spamming him, bro. But I ain't do nothing crazy.
That's
Yo, can't say that now. You was thinking can't say nothing. I ain't trying to hear none of y'all niggas bounce next week, bro.
I can still say something. Your European side is what encouraged you to shackle that man up. It makes sense. It definitely makes sense.
Here we go.
Allow me to introduce you to my other co-host. He barely plays games anymore, but he finally played. He finally played something we'll discuss on today's show. Mainly just him. So be sure to contribute your 33% to the show. Ethos, say what up to the people.
Well, I will say, because JG knows the agenda we're going to push today, I did play I think it's tied right now as the number 1 biggest, I guess, highest rated game right now that came out this year.
Okay.
Which is crazy. Until next week. We already said it. Until next week.
When this is recorded, this is before Elden Ring, because I want people to understand that before Shadow.
The next show will be about Elden Ring. I mean, since you brought it up, I mean, we could open up with that one instead. So if you want to get that out the way, because he is correct. Destiny 2, the Final Shape DLC, which is the final piece of DLC, the send away for Destiny 2, is the highest rated review of 2024 so far. And as someone who's been, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people who are not in the Destiny community, as someone from the outside looking in, explain to us, Ethos, why this is the highest rated game of the year.
Look, Bungie was about to get taken over by Sony, so it was all or nothing. They had to go hard on this DLC, and I think they went crazy with it. I feel like it is it is the result of the decade of like work that they've worked on with Destiny from the first game to the second game. I think it's Destiny 2 at its like best, at its peak. It's got a really amazing raid, all the content, the campaign mode, the new locations are really cool, the story, the characters actually have an amazing wealth of depth and actually go through a really powerful, really engaging like story, like character arcs within this DLC, and they conclude. And as a science fan, as a sci-fi fan, so as a fan of like Mass Effect and everything else, it's just really cool to see like this massive sci-fi universe finally going into like the end of a huge, like I'd say, saga that they've had. This isn't necessarily the end of Destiny. There's been hints of like a bigger picture within that, and they said that even though like I think they said that this will be the final expansion for the game, they still have some things that they've announced that they're still going to be fueling Destiny, I think, for the next year or two. So they still have stuff. And I think there's been already rumors and some alleged links that like Destiny's already quietly, I mean, not Destiny, Bungie is quietly working on D3 right now. And they're going to try to like just nail it out of the park with whatever this game's going to be, alongside with what they're working on with Marathon. I think this is after Marathon. The next big, there's a new IP, there's another IP they're working on, and then I think they're also starting like the groundwork for whatever Destiny 3 is going to be.
How long did you beat this DLC, like the story?
Yeah, I beat it on Legendary, so I beat on like the Elden Ring, the From Software difficulty level that they established with it. So I beat the entire thing.
How long is it in terms of content, and like what's the price point?
I think it was, I'm just gonna check Steam real quick. I think, yes, when I started playing the DLC, before I started playing the DLC, I just barely touched 300 hours. So that was through like years of playing Destiny. And then I think as of today, I've put in 58 hours. So I put in about 58 hours. The campaign, I think, takes about like, I'd say like, I can't even remember how long it took me. I think it's like, it's kind of deceptive. It was about 10 to 12 hours, I think, because what happened was the campaign's like split in half. So when the game first came out, it reaches a climax, like an Infinity War climax, where like there's this big like moment where effectively it's like all or nothing, and then they unlock the raid, and so you can't actually beat the campaign until somebody in the community beats the raid. So once they beat that, then it opened up this surprise which no one saw coming. They created the first ever like 12-player activity. So they actually have 12 Guardians all jumping in, and it's basically, I'm not even joking, it's literally like being in like in game. Like they pull up like every single faction in the universe, they all pull up in this massive like scene where they all jump in, and then all like 12 Guardians, like all of you guys jump onto the battlefield, and it's just pure chaos. It's like the full force of like the darkness is like trying to attack you, and you guys are just popping supers and stuff, and you're trying to kill them and like do this like massive like a breach, like a Normandy breach, where like when you're on the beaches of Normandy and you're just trying to push into the base to kill the final boss. And like it's actually really, it's very anime how it ends, but it's really good. I think it was like, I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was like one of the coolest things they've ever done.
Describe to me like the boss fights and stuff like that. Was it engaging for you? Because I feel like Remnant 2, it kind of spoiled me. It's kind of hard to play, at least the older, because I did buy one of the Destiny 2 DLCs, and I was just kind of like, I didn't beat it, because it was just like bullet sponges. I feel like with Remnant 2, it had a really good level design as well as like boss fights that kept me engaged. It wasn't just shooting. It was, you had to be tactical. There was like platforming. There's little gimmicks to like bosses. Like what kept you engaged with this DLC?
I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the story actually is really good. I can't believe I'm saying that about Destiny, but yeah, the campaign was actually really good. There's obviously the nostalgia aspect of just like the characters, seeing them come to their final like conclusion, basically the big like Zavala, Ikora, and Cade. I think Cade's like the big one that a lot of fans were really excited to see come back, because he got knocked off by Aldrin, or Crow now. But I think that a lot of it was the story, but also those elements. Bungie's been, the last time I remember we played was when Destiny 2 first came out, and you remember how that got a lot of like, we liked it and then we stopped playing it, but a lot of the hardcore fan base hated it because it removed a lot of the hardcore aspects. Throughout the years, what they've been doing is they've been adding those moments. So this campaign, much like I think Witch Queen did it too, there's like now like puzzle mechanics now in the campaign. There's platforming segments. There is like the strikes themselves are now more complex. There's mechanics now within the campaign that you have to do. So it's not just simply shoot the guy, that's it. Bungie within the past, I think ever since like after Forsaken, they added a difficulty measure by adding these like champions to the game. So they're mobs that have a shield, but it's like Mass Effect kind of, where like the shield itself doesn't, you can't just shoot at it and break the shield. There has to be a certain weapon type you have to use to counter the shield. And if you can't, that mob is just going to kill you. So you actually have to work together as a team, make sure like someone on your team has this type of gun, someone on this team has that type of gun or this ability, so you can break certain like champion shields. So there's like 3 different types. So they've been adding these things to the game to give the game more complexity and to also make the game more difficult. So it's not just a simple like, I go behind the wall and I just take pot shots and I run behind a wall again. Like there's a little bit of that still, but you have to actually use your brain now. It's not just shoot at the health bar anymore. There's a lot more thought pattern you got to do now.
What is these prismatic subclasses? What is that?
So Prismatic is basically the surprise subclass that so I don't know if you know this. So you know how
I asked Rock. That's why.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
AI.
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you just seen on Twitter. So you know how like Destiny 2 has been basically you play as Guardians and you're like the light. You're the good guys, right? You're the light, right? So throughout the last DLCs, the Witch Queen and Beyond Light, they've basically been hinting at the idea that like maybe the light isn't maybe the darkness isn't as bad as you think it is, and the villain of the I joked about the villain of Sabathun. She was like an OG villain from the first game, and they've been like hinting at her. She's like the big OG of like this big expansion. She basically argues and says, you guys are basically been brainwashed and manipulated and believing that anything that's not of the light is just immediately evil and you should snuff it out. And she's like, you guys are slaves to this thing, and I'm going to prove that you guys are basically racist. And that the dogma has turned all of you guys into racists where you'll shoot and kill somebody before you even try to talk to them. And that entire DLC is like that in a nutshell, which I think is really cool. But the entire idea is that you unlock darkness subclasses. So now Best Destiny, not only can you play like solar, electric, or what's that third one? Void. But now there's the darkness subclasses too. So now there's like really cool, like a stasis one, which is like frozen crystals, like ice. And then another one's like Strand, which is like the green stuff. Prismatic is basically bringing it all together where you basically become, at the height of the saga, you basically unlock the capabilities of using both light and dark simultaneously. So you have more diversity of building your character where you can take elements out of the light side and elements out of the dark side. Think of it like Star Wars, where you could be like a gray Jedi, where you can take elements of the light of the Jedi and elements of a Sith, and you combine them together to create this like new, gray Guardian, if you will. That's like the gist of it. It's really cool. There's a lot of cool customization you can do now.
That shit, like, I don't know why anybody would, but if somebody was interested and hadn't played since launch, could somebody hop into this DLC?
Fuck no.
At least you're being honest.
I'll be completely honest.
I was like, that's just sound nerdy what you just said.
Yeah,
I was like,
I'm not sure. Like, if you enjoyed Destiny when you played it at a certain point, and let's say you took a long break from it, I think if you have friends who are still in it, they can help reintroduce you to it. But I think if you go into it blind, you don't know what's happening. It's kind of like what I said in my latest video. Like, you're just going to you're just going to get spammed with like a bunch of pop-ups of you missed this. They're going to just start throwing information at you. They're going to throw cutscenes at you. You're like, what the fuck? You're honestly be like, what the hell is happening? Like, I don't know what's going on now in the Destiny universe. And that's always been a problem, I feel like. It's definitely one of those things where it's like, it would be like if you played Mass Effect 2 and you skipped 1. That's what it feels like, I think, at this point.
Care to comment, Jay?
Or not even that. It feels like playing Mass Effect 3 and you never touched the franchise a day in your life. And you're like starting off with Mass Effect 3, which is crazy. But there's actually been people I've seen that have told me they've done that, which is kind of insane. But that would be the feeling what it's like. Yeah. So I would say no. But if you have friends, they can help you out to get into it.
Okay.
But if you play, I'd say if you played Witch Queen, or at least you caught up to like Forsaken and you stopped, maybe you could still pick this up and still get back into it. But if you haven't played since like the start of D2, I highly doubt you'll be able to mentally assimilate back into the game as fast. It'll take you a while.
Jay, you like to shackle people down. Do you see yourself shackling this game into your Steam Deck?
That's crazy. You can't play it on Steam Deck.
I am one of those people who only played base D2. And after that ending, that I don't even remember the ending, but I remember it was bad. I remember I was just like, "What the hell is this?" No, I have no plans of getting back into D2, like ever, and that's fine. It's not my cup of tea. I have no desire to try to catch back up. How many expansions have there been since base?
So there
4
was
or 5.
Curse of Osiris. There was some other one I forgot. Then it was Forsaken. Then it was Beyond Light.
It seems like they've been throwing them out pretty
6?
frequently.
I think it's been like 6 expansions since. Granted, though, to be fair to Bungie, their monetization is terrible. But to be fair to them, they did have a good period of time before this expansion dropped where I was trying to tell people, I was like, if you haven't played in a while, they basically unlocked all the legacy campaigns. So like the big 3 ones, the ones that give you a lot of the story context, they gave them for free where a free to play player could download Destiny and they could play them for like 3 weeks straight, which would have got you probably through all the story content of the game. And they've been trying to like bundle through like certain bundles. They've been trying to make bundle deals where it's like you can get all the DLC wrapped into one price, so you can just hop in and play it. It's still a little confusing. I'll be honest.
I'm glad that they at least have done that. I remember they did mention that, so it's not. It wouldn't be like you're literally starting blind if you have never played D2 before, but it wouldn't make sense for you to go to the end and you're trying to get into it. Yeah.
All I'll say is definitely that shit's not free to play. Don't fall for that. If you're trying to say maybe I'll try Destiny 2, just don't even try to play the free to play experience is terrible. It's probably the worst I've ever seen for any game with any sort of free to play like aspect to it.
Sony got to make that money back.
Well, they did it before Sony. Before Sony bought them, they added a free to play mechanic, and it's terrible. It's just really bad. It's the game is very limited. There's not a lot of things that you can do with the mod, like the current, like what's everybody playing. They're off doing like the latest content, and you're just kind of like walking around and doing a lot of the base stuff, and you're locked out of so much like weapons and stuff like that you're just like, I feel like I'm being outclassed, and it's like, yeah, you really are. So wouldn't recommend.
Shout out to Google Gemini, man. So yeah, there have been 8 expansions. That's crazy.
8 expansions. See, I was getting off. I thought it was 6.
Using Google
Osiris, Warmind, Forsaken, Shadowkeep, Beyond Light, Witch Queen, Lightfall, and now the final shape. Wow.
I forgot about Lightfall. Nobody talks about Lightfall. That shit was that shit was. That's why I forgot.
I remember Beyond Light. I remember when that came out. Witch Queen. Everybody was hype about that one.
Hyped about that one.
I'm just surprised you using Google Gemini. You know that shit is woke, right? That's the woke AI.
Yeah. You know the funny thing now, and I don't know if anyone has noticed, but since they've released Gemini, you don't actually have to go to it. All you have to do is just do a regular Google search, and Gemini pops up. And that's cool. It saved me the time of clicking on an actual article. Thank you for AI just telling me what it is. I like it.
Mm-hmm. So I think my final question for the final shape is: we know what the people in general are saying, giving it a 94 overall. Do you agree with that? Is this the best game that you played this year? Seeing as I don't even know why I asked you, but go ahead.
Don't let him do it, bro. Don't let him do it.
Why would you ask me that? Why would you ask me that?
Of course it is by default, but go ahead and give us your answer.
No, probably not, because I'm pretty sure when Elden Ring drops, I don't know. I highly doubt this will even come close to that. I will say it is, without a doubt, it is literally, I think, it's cool. It's cool. It's really good. And I'm more happy for a lot of the fans of Destiny 2 that, like, you got some vindication. As a Cyberpunk enjoyer, I know what that feels like. I know how it feels where you get thrown through the mud for years on end and people constantly make fun of you. And it's nice that at the end of the day, when everything's said and done, you do get that level of, like, you know, that vindication that it was all worth it in the end, and you know, you guys didn't go out bad. There's been a ton of other stories of games where like people put a lot of time and effort into them, and then they go out real bad in the end. This was not one of those. So I would say for those people who've been that dedicated to that game, this is probably one of their favorite games they've ever played. Probably one of their favorite experiences of all time, and I can't knock that for them. For me, I think it resonated with me a lot, just personally, because of my growth between my relationship of really despising that game initially when it launched to slowly like coming to like it a lot more as time's gone on. But I don't think it'll be like, I think it'll be in my top 10 of this year. I think it'll be in my top 10 games of this year. I can probably say that without a doubt. But will it be like my favorite? Nah, probably not.
I will say, well, there you have it. That's what he thinks on Destiny 2. I'm going to pivot real quick. I will say the most interesting thing about this conversation is I'm just going to take a wild guess based off of the previews we've seen as well as the reviews of the base game, Destiny 2's DLC, and then Shadow of the Erdtree. Like, let's what do y'all think the average Metacritic score is going to be for out of 100 for Shadow of the Erdtree? Because I feel like between these two DLCs, they're going to be some of the best reviewed games of the year, and they're not even games.
You know what's crazy? I'll say 3. I'll say 95. I'll say 95. I think it's going to be. What's crazy is Final Fantasy is also dropping an expansion, and I have a sneaking suspicion that too is going to get high scoring. And I think we're going to have a weird year where you're going to look at the Metacritic top rating and you're going to see like 4 to 5 things that are like expansion DLCs.
You talking about
that are just like
Final Fantasy 7 remake or 14?
No, 14. 14's dropping their next.
Yeah, I was going to say, you know, them PlayStation niggas don't buy that, so
actually they do because it's on PlayStation.
No, I'm talking about Final Fantasy 7 remake.
Oh yes, of course. Nobody plays that crap.
Don't let the PlayStation niggas hear that.
I know I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry. I apologize to the Final Fantasy community. I've learned my mistakes on Twitter. You guys have a great game there.
You know what the best-selling game on PlayStation?
Don't be joking.
You know
Yeah, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'm not. You know what the best-selling, because I'm pushing my agenda. You know what the best-selling game on PlayStation in May 2024 was? Take a guess.
Sea of Thieves.
He's right. You guys didn't know?
I know that.
Xbox.
I'm tapped in.
Y'all be making fun of Xbox niggas, but y'all buy their games, but you don't buy the greatest RPG of all time. That's crazy.
What else came out this year? Was that the same time that Final Fantasy was out?
Final Fantasy has not sold well since it came out, period.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, like Square Enix came out and said that it's underperforming like a motherfucker. Same thing with Rise of Ronin as well. Although I feel like Rise of Ronin never had a chance because
I would feel bad about them, but there was an easy way they could have solved that solution. But they were too greedy trying to get exclusive money.
Wait, what was the solution?
You put it on PC day one with the PlayStation version. But
PC niggas do buy games. They don't always play them, but they buy them.
Yeah, they buy them, and that would have probably helped make the game go plus. But
nah, man, they want to do this 1-2 year exclusivity, so.
They should just acknowledge the fact that PS5 is not going to sell your game anymore.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to accept that because I think it was the president or the CEO said that that's their goal still to bring more like PC people over to PlayStation. I'm like, they're not.
That's the craziest statement.
They're not doing that.
They're not. That's not how it works. Like, I'll even say lately, I'll even prove that point. Kingdom Hearts just got on Steam, and literally. That game had been locked behind Epic Games for 3 years, and PC gamers literally waited 3 years just to spite Epic to not buy it on there and waited until it came on Steam. Like, if you go to the reviews of Kingdom Hearts, it's not even about the game. They're just shitting on Epic the entire time. They're just shitting on
It's not even necessarily that, too. Like, you gotta understand, like, games aren't the same as when we were kids. Like, there were only, like, a few really big games every year that dropped, so you kind of had to play them. Nowadays, there's so much content between indie and AAA. Motherfuckers will wait for your game. We don't have to play that game day one because there's 10 other games that drop today.
They have other things to keep you interested in the meantime.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like people got to keep that in mind. You better come compete. And speaking of competing, a game just came out that's trying to compete with Call of Duty. XDefiant is Ubisoft's new first-person shooter, free to play, developed by one of the head developers, is Mark Rubin, who worked on Call of Duty, I think Modern Warfare and Modern Warfare 2, the good ones or whatever. And also got some pros on the development team. It takes the Call of Duty kind of kinetic movement, an arcade shooter, and combines it with like hero shooter elements by implementing different characters from different Ubisoft franchises, including games they haven't made in a while, like Splinter Cell. What's the name? When it launched, I believe launched it weekend, the first 3 days, it had 10 million players online. One of them was Ethos, even though he swears he didn't. And there's been a lot of hype surrounding it. Some people are calling it the Call of Duty killer. I don't know if I agree with that. Jay, I know you've been spending a lot of time with the game, so give us the good, bad, and the ugly on XDefiant.
XDefiant is in a weird state for me, right? Because I haven't said I've been fiending for another shooter that's not Call of Duty, but it does feel good, at times to just hop on with the boys and then just get some games in. And I don't like XDefiant, but I don't hate it either. Like, it's definitely in that gray spot for me, mostly because all the controversy surrounding it. Like, again, we haven't confirmed if the rumors were true, but we talked about it, how allegedly some of the XDefiant developers were like trying to make the game into Call of Duty, and then the game actually comes out and we're seeing some of those elements from Call of Duty. It's like, damn, man, like, yeah, did y'all really try? Or like we didn't really need this game to be Call of Duty, but we're seeing like some of those like same gripes that we've had in Call of Duty throughout the years in this video game. And this game still needs some work. Like, I think at its core, like, the shooting mechanics are nice. I do like that. I like the fact that it's fully objective based. Even though you have the kill confirm type of mode, but it has a little twist on it. So I'm cool with there being like no just regular TDM or whatever. I do like the objective match because I definitely like the PTFO, so it's cool with that aspect. And I do like the classes, but there are some glaring issues. One is definitely the latency here. Like, there should be no reason why like I can't survive a lot of firefights because I'm trying to go around a corner. I know that I went around a corner and it just feels like wanted bullets are hitting you and you can't see because there's no kill cam. Like, it's just not there. It doesn't exist. I know there's some things have been addressed or going to be addressed, like the bunny hopping. Bunny hopping is very prevalent there, and and it has been a legit strategy to
already
win a lot of firefights. I know. I'm just mentioning the things there were problems that have been patched or
although I'd argue it
still
didn't
have to
change
be addressed.
much, but go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. You're supposed to get penalties, if you bunny hop too much. Same thing with crouching. So a lot of those aspects, people are using like the same classes, like the Splinter Cell class, and using like the same type of ability. So those are those like glaring aspects, and people are legit. Like I've seen a lot of Call of Duty people legit come over and they're playing it like Call of Duty. So I'm like, damn, man, like y'all niggas are really sweating on this video game, and it's like I can see because y'all feel like again this is Call of Duty because it legit feels like it a lot of times. So those are like the glaring things for me. But I think at its core, like if XDefiant can get it together and fine tune it to a point where like some of these glaring issues go away, then I think it'll be a much better product. But I think right now, again, like we mentioned before, we talked about XDefiant during the beta. Like if this game, I feel like this game wants to get away from Call of Duty, but it's just stuck in the shadow too much. I feel like if they do some more fine tuning, it can finally get from behind Call of Duty shadow, hopefully. But that's part of the hype behind it because people do legit want it to be the Call of Duty killer, but it feels too much like Call of Duty at this very point in time. But people just want another shooter that's not Call of Duty. Battlefield was supposed to be it, but I legit don't hear anybody talking about playing Battlefield 2042, regardless of how good it may be now at this point, but nobody's talking about it. So it's just XDefiant and Call of Duty still, Warzone specifically, because we don't even mention Call of Duty, we just talk about Warzone. So this is really it. So people just want something else, and right now XDefiant is filling that shooter void at this very point in time.
I think the best way I would the way I would review this game is I would give it it's something to play with the boys out of 10. I'm kind of in alignment with JG. I don't love this game, but I don't hate it. Honestly, I'm playing it because it's free and I'm waiting for Shadow of the Erd Tree. But if you ask me if I would pay for this game, fuck no. The shooting mechanics, they're cool. Like the movement is cool. Some of the maps are cool. Like the guns feel good. There's a good variety of guns, although the shotguns are kind of ass. I guess my issue with this game is, besides like some of the basic things, like you said, like the hit reg, no kill cam. I feel like if this community survives, if it dies, I mean, it's gonna be because of the community. They're gonna kill the game. I mean, if this game dies, it's gonna be because of the community. This community is full of gaslighters, and like that's so bad for a game that does have some glaring issues. Like I see the potential there, but it's like anytime you bring, and there's another game like that right now. It's not out yet, so I'm not going to say it, but we were talking about it in the group chat earlier. There's just like certain games you can't say nothing about it, or you're a fucking hater, or specifically with this game, if you say anything critical about it, you're fucking ass. And the problem is, a lot of the developers on that team are Call of Duty niggas with the same mindset. They're releasing articles and statements to the public. If you're not getting any wins, this game doesn't have skill-based matchmaking, so you're trash. No, this game's full of fucking hackers, and Ubisoft is notorious. I mean, Rainbow Six Siege, they're notorious for having really bad anti-cheat. What's the name? I ran into like 3 hackers in the span of like 30 minutes. Niggas on top of buildings, niggas below the map. Fucking niggas getting hit. Bruh, me and Siggy was in a match, and this nigga got 18 headshots in like less than 30 seconds. The kill feed was going, they don't even be trying to hide their cheating, bruh. And I'm like, you bring this stuff on social media? Nah, you trash. There's no skill-based matchmaking. You need to get good. Da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, bro, you guys are going to kill this game with that attitude, because the more people see that type of stuff, the more it becomes an issue, and you keep denying it and it doesn't get fixed, you're just not going to get what you need out of this game. So it's like, I want this game to win, but I'm like, and then what we saw with Black Ops 6, which we can get into later, I was like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's a lack of content. It's gotten dry already. It's only been out for like 2 weeks. I know this is like season 0. They already announced what's coming with season 1. I think they should have just launched with a little bit more content, because it feels like, it says there's 14 maps at launch. It feels like does it feel like it's the same 5 maps to you, Jay?
Yeah, no, and that's one of the issues, like, especially with a lot of these shooters that have come out. Like, I know it's hard to make maps, but I feel like there definitely should be a good variety of maps. Like day one, we shouldn't have to wait on 1 or 2 more maps, in a month or 2 months or so. Like, we need that variety. And what a lot of these developers have been doing over the last, like, I would say 5-6 years, maybe even longer, with these shooters. And Call of Duty is kind of notorious for it as well, but you'll give like 12 maps at launch, but 8 of them for like regular, 6v6, and then you'll have 4 maps that are for big team battle or expansion modes or objective modes. So that's what they're doing in this one too. Like there are certain maps that are only for different game modes.
They're the worst game modes.
Yeah, and that's the payload, and that's the payload one, which I don't want to play. So
why would you put payload in a Call of Duty like shooter, bro? That's a strategic mode. Niggas is not strategic. They want to zip around like fucking crackheads. It just doesn't match the vibe of the game, and it's like those maps are locked behind that mode, so it feels like you're playing the same 5 ones all the goddamn time.
Unfortunately, so yeah, you need to have just like a good amount of base maps. Like regardless of what game mode that you're playing, you will get this map in rotation, and that's unfortunately what the issue is right now in that video game.
What's up also with the Uplay launcher? I got that shit on my SSD. I swear to God, it takes a half hour to launch this game. Do you have issues with that?
I unfortunately do not, but again, I'm not going to be one of those people like, well, it didn't happen to me, therefore it's not.
You got an M2?
I've heard. Yeah,
that might be. Yeah, that might be why.
Yeah, I do. So I don't know. But people just notoriously hate Uplay. They hate any game launcher that's not Steam. That's not Steam. So we already know. Like if you're a piece of gamer, it is what it is, man. Like any other game launcher is trash if it's not Steam.
I would just define this game as something to play. It's free, so like, what do you have to lose? I'd recommend trying it out. You might like it. What do you think about it, Ethos? You did a whole review on YouTube. Tell us about it.
It's irrelevant.
Tell us how you really feel, though. Why is it irrelevant?
That's exactly how I feel. It's irrelevant. The moment Black Ops 6 revealed its trailer, it became irrelevant. Damn. Nothing matters about it. Why even waste your time investing? Why invest even your time and effort into that game when you know it's going to die effectively once Black Ops 6 comes out? Might be dead even before that, but I will say it's dead on arrival. I said it was dead on arrival from the get-go. So I think it's a bad game? No, but I think the Black Ops 6 trailer just buried it under. And anybody who tries to act like, no, that's not the case and it'll be fine, no, you're delusional.
So let's act like the Black Ops trailer didn't come out. What'd you think of the game as a whole?
Like I said, I'll still repeat what I said. I said before the Black Ops 6 trailer came out, I said, once the next Call of Duty comes out, that will be irrelevant. It's another one of those games that tries to search after its community and tries to say, oh, we're trying to do what old Call of Duty did. And there's been multiple games throughout the years that have tried to do that. I'm forgetting on some of them, but I recall there was like another game too that was another shooter. What was the name of that? It was like I think it was a Chinese game or something like that, where it was like an old school shooter we used to play like during the pandemic. I can't remember. That game can't even remember anymore. It's irrelevant. Just like battle royales. So many battle royales is the same thing. There's been so many Call of Duty games. I agree with you. There's that idea of like, well, we haven't had a lot of multiplayer games in a while, and everyone's sick of VR. So, they're going back. They're not playing anymore. But I just don't think they're relevant. And I hate to say it's the same thing with XDefiant, but that's just the truth. It is. It's not relevant. I don't even know why we're wasting our breath on this game when I think we already talked about it last podcast. There's nothing else to talk about this game.
Yeah, there is. This game contains one of the arguably the worst battle pass I've ever seen in a video game.
But does it matter?
Yeah, it does, because that's another reason. Besides the community, I think is going to kill this game because they're toxic as fuck and they don't listen. Like the lack of proper content. I'm not even trying to be funny. It deadass has the worst battle pass I've ever. It doesn't even have any cool like unique skins for the characters. They're just recolor skins and they're ugly. It's like someone just like, you ever like had a mouthful of Skittles or like Starburst and then like you look at it and it's like it's just a bunch of different colors. Like that's the skins on the battle pass. And I'm like, why the fuck would I ever pay for this shit? So like I think that too. There's nothing rewarding for the player that makes them want to chuck up the money. It might get better in season 1. The problem is kind of like what we talked about earlier. There's more competition than ever. And I guess to Ethos' point, yeah, like I feel like Black Ops 6 is about to stomp them the fuck out. Cause like this is the first time I'm like, I don't want to say I'm excited, but I'm keeping my eye. I'm actually looking at Call of Duty this year. It was a surprising showcase from Xbox. It looked pretty damn good. I'm not gonna lie.
And it's coming out on Game Pass day 1. There's no reason.
That's the other reason why it's gonna kill Xbox. Is that because they put it on the Game Pass, that's going to effectively kill XDefiant. Because the only XDefiant had was, it's free to play, so it's like it's Dollar Tree Call of Duty, but it's going to become irrelevant the moment people are like, yeah, we could play XDefiant, but we could also play the real thing for like $9 this month or $10 or whatever it is nowadays.
Yeah,
I just don't see it. I'm not, and again. It definitely sounds like I'm hating, but I'm not just hating on it just for the sake of hating on it. Like I'm sorry.
I really hate this shit, nigga. Like
it's not. I'm just being very realistic. I do not see it having legs to survive long. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of us. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, you know what's crazy? Call of Duty's Black Ops 6 could even come out through its same Call of Duty cycle where people love it the first week and then they hate it in a month or two, and it'll still end up killing XDefiant. That's just a game franchise that I think it's unkillable. You can't making a game that tries to be an emulation of it and not being better than it's not enough. It doesn't work anymore.
It's unfortunate, and but that's the beauty of like our podcast, for example, because like we're not tied to anything. I know that Ubisoft hates a certain person down there because they blackball them. You don't care.
You should love me. I've been defending Assassin's Creed Shadows. Y'all should love me.
Hey man, but this year especially, like I said, I just want to go into like these games that we're like talking about, and we're just being straight up. Like it's if a game that we see is like we just can see the writing on the wall, this is going to be irrelevant. Like we're just going to say it, and Ethos, unfortunately, was right, and I think it's not going to be relevant once Black Ops 6 comes out.
I feel like it's losing steam. I feel like it's losing steam already. Like that opening weekend, it was going crazy. Like I said, 10 million concurrent players or whatever. But like since like the first week, like I don't really see nobody talking about it. Like on Twitch, I was streaming it the other day. It only had like 10,000 viewers versus it had like 200,000 like the launch week or whatever. I feel like that steam is kind of already dying. I think it's because of that lack of content and the other issues as well that are not being addressed.
Y'all remember the finals? Remember we talked about them?
The finals lasted longer. That's the crazy part.
It's still the same result. It's going to be the same result.
It's unfortunate. Yeah, the finals lacked content, but I mean, it's free. I'll still say try it if you have nothing to play. It's just like, it's just something to play with the boys out of 10, but it's not really moving the needle for me. Like I thought it would. I thought it'd be a little bit more better, a little bit more content, but can't trust Call of Duty niggas, Call of Duty pros to develop anything, especially balance. Why the fuck?
When you make goats.
This is the last time I'm gonna say it. Why the fuck is it a 6v6 shooter where everybody can play the same class? You got 6 fucking echelons running around with UAVs every 30 seconds, bruh. That game ain't lasting. What the fuck are we talking about, bro? Anyways, another free-to-play game that came back from the dead, Multiversus. It launched like a year and a half ago in beta. It was in beta for quite a few months. They shut it down. People thought it was dead. No, they went on break, reworked some things, and now it's back in its full release. Things they've changed. They slowed down the gameplay. They made the characters bigger. They added new maps, new characters. There's a new parry mechanic. There's a new story mode. It's kind of similar to Smash Bros. Like you destroy the targets and you're jumping through levels, like platforming and stuff like that. They got their battle pass. The net code has been improved. Just a lot of different content. I've been playing it with Nomad. I know JG's been playing it. I'll take the floor on this one. I'm kind of in the same boat as XDefiant with this one. I was excited about it. Before it came out, like when they was first showing all the gameplay and the changes. Then he got on it and like I'm having fun, but I guess the grind for like the stuff in the game is like ridiculous. Like people were doing the math, like it's taking like hundreds of hours, I guess, to get like characters and like skins and shit like that. Sometimes there's like desync on the online, so it's not even 100% improved. A lot of people, I don't agree with this. The pacing, a lot of people don't like the pacing because it's slower. It feels fine to me, but I will say the hitboxes are really weird in this fucking game. I don't feel like they changed it. Like you'll hit somebody. There's been plenty of times where like I'll play Superman and I'll punch somebody. The character, you'll punch them in the face. What is these physics? The character will end up behind you. So instead of comboing them, you totally miss and now you're getting punished. And that happens a lot in this game. And I think that's what kind of pissed me off. And I was just telling Nomad, I'm like, yeah, this shit can't be, it's too kookily. It can't be competitive. I don't think it's a smash killer. It's something to play. It's free. There's some fun to be had here, but I don't know if it's meant to be taken seriously. Especially because they have like weird perks too. Like you can there's a perk in the game where you can summon a platform out of thin air, so you can do these easy ass combos that are like pissing people off. But what do you think of it, Jay? You said what?
Yeah. What you say? What'd you
say?
Nothing.
This guy. All right, because I guess so anyways, I know that one of the glaring things that people were talking about, which I don't really know to care about, what you mentioned as well, was the the game being slowed down, and I don't really notice that or care. I think it feels fine to me. I like the new character, especially the character that I didn't get to play with before it ended up going into hibernation. And I do appreciate that the people who played Multiversus before, when you came back, you automatically get the season pass. So I do like those free like thank yous. So like, hey, like you know, you sat there, you played our game before, you came back. Now, you know, here's a thank you for, you know, continuing to play the game. So I do like those. The rifts are cool. You know, other ways to get more currency in the game in order to unlock things, whether it's perks or, you know, leveling up your character, whatnot. So it's cool. Like I said, I enjoy playing it with the fellas. I think it's a good time whenever I hop on, but right now, I think the game came out at a terrible time. Like I said, you know, everybody got to get out the way when Shadow of the Erdtree comes out. So I haven't played it in a while. I've actually been playing XDefiant a little bit more than Multiversus over the past couple of weeks. But it's not to say it's not a bad game. But, you know, like I said, we had Omni on the podcast. I don't see too many FGC folks really talking about this game. Like, you know, we just had more Street Fighter reveals. Like, everybody talking about Street Fighter again. Like, I don't see the FGC. Like, people talking about Tekken still. I don't see the FGC folks really talking about Multiverse. I don't see the Smash veterans really talking about Multiverse. So, like I said before,
step further, I don't really see anybody on the timeline talking about it, period.
No, that's facts. I have a community manager who I didn't know at first because he's a commentator. So I was like, oh, like you talking about the game a lot. I was like, what's going on? Then I looked at the profile. I was like, oh, you're the community manager for this game now. So shout out to him for, you know, getting a job. And, you know, I understand he's trying to hype everything up. Like when they revealed Jason and the other characters, he, you know, was hyping it up and stuff. But he's really the only one who's talking about it. And, you know, he's supposed to. That's his job. But I don't see anybody really outside of him talking about it, outside of like day one when everybody kept talking about the LeBron basketball glitch. That's the only thing that I kept seeing all the time. But other than that, didn't really see anything else. So if they're not on it, like I said, this game is unfortunately going to be DOA. I hope that they can get some structured tournaments going. Like Warner Brothers actually needs to put up some money and do their own structured tournaments, get some people into it, see what they can do. I know that there was like some smaller tournaments going on Twitch, but they need to really try to reel the FGC in, because without the FGC, this game will not work. It doesn't matter how fun it is. Doesn't matter that it's free to play. You've got to get them on it. So if they're not talking about it, then I don't know what's going on with it right now. But I think fundamentally it's a good game. But Smash Killer, I don't think so, especially at this very point in time. So we'll see.
Ethos, you got any thoughts on Multiversus?
No, I suck at Smash games, so it's better if I keep my mouth shut.
Yeah, like I feel like this is just kind of another middle of the road game. Like it sucks too, because I feel like gaming is starting to reflect like the real life like economy, where like there's no middle class, you know what I'm saying? Like I miss that era where like AA games could thrive. It's either just the rich or the poor. And most games that are winning is those AAA games. And if your game is really bad, it'll get a lot of press. But, you know, these games that are kind of in the middle, they kind of just get lost in translation. But I think what it does have going for it is free. So I'm still going to recommend it. There's some fun to be had here. I just think that it's still a little rough around the edges. I don't feel like they did enough new to where, like JG said, nobody in the fighting game community is talking about it and getting excited about it. Especially when you got games like Fatal Fury coming, Dragonball is coming. What's the name? So it's like, it's just kind of like,
Bro, more people talking about freaking Dragon Ball Z, and we're gonna talk about it in a second. More people talking about that on my timeline. People are excited about that damn game. I don't know why, but they are excited.
Oh, you're about to get a lot of hate, JG. You're not allowed to criticize that game.
Man,
the group chat game you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the game I was talking about, the group chat. You're not allowed to say any. All I said on stream the other day, I was like, I haven't seen enough that makes me. To me, Dragon Ball is in the category of, depending on when it comes out, I'll pick it up. If there's nothing in the way, I'll play it. But I got to look at the calendar and see what else is coming out in October. Because if I don't know, what did Assassin's Creed get a date? Like if Assassin's Creed comes out the same day as Dragon Ball, I'm playing Assassin's Creed.
No, it's my birthday. It comes out in November.
Okay. Yeah, so like for me, it depends. Like I'm still kind of on the fence because I haven't seen enough from it. But like it looks cool. Like I'm not blown away like everybody else. But yeah, Multiversus, that's what we're talking about. Try it. It's free to play. Judge for yourself. That's the beauty of free to play games. You can download it and try it for yourself, and you can judge and see if it's a thing that you like. But I think it still needed some more time in the oven, in my opinion. And then last but not least, what we got in terms of games, during the Xbox Showcase for Summer Gamesfest, they showed off a game that they've been showing off for a couple of years called Flintlock, Seige of Dawn. It's a Souls-like game with a heavy emphasis on exploration and platforming. They dropped a demo. It's exclusively on Steam. And also don't go searching for it. Not only is it not on Xbox, but I don't think it'll be on Steam next week. It was only up for like a few days is what my Twitch chat is telling me. So we got to play it. Jay, you got the floor. What are you thinking about Flintlock? Is this another, does Xbox got a W?
And Flintlock is on DEI alert, bro.
Oh,
they
no.
go, man. You look at the main character, boy.
Oh, no.
Black and a woman. Come on, man. They checked 2 boxes, man. But on a serious note, I was surprised. I didn't know that Flintlock was going to be a Souls-like game. So, you know me, like I don't care at this point. I know I'm kind of sound like a hypocrite with this when it comes to like what new genre, what new meta that there is, but we are 100% in a Soulsborne meta. So you can give me as many Soulsborne games as you want to. I'm gonna play them all, baby, as long as they good. Fuck Rise of Ronin, that game is trash. But it is, man.
I don't agree with that.
Big disappointment.
Fight about it.
Big disappointment. Phantom Blade.
It was disappointment. It was disappointing. I agree, but I wouldn't call it trash.
Man, that game is ashy. That game is ashy as hell. Anyway,
of course, you like the one with the black in it. Of course.
Oh yeah, I do. I do. But anyway, so back to Flintlock. So yeah, I was actually very surprised. I'm like, oh, this Soulsborne game. I was like, let me see how it is. So I do like the aspects. They try to make it different. You have to have like your own little spin on the Soulsborne game. You can't just make it like a cut and paste. So she has a gun, and so you can you can get those aspects in there. Get some range in, and then once you get further through the story, you'll figure out like what the main purpose is. I'm not going to spoil it, but once you end up getting there, if you got a chance to play the demo, then you'll see when it's happening. So there's some awesome platforming aspects, some awesome moves that you can do. The level up system, looks pretty straightforward in what you can do, but it looks like it's a nice little tree of like special move that you can get. And the exploration, like from like the map that they have, the map looks pretty huge. And like as I was traversing through, I was like, damn, like there are so many different branching paths that you can take, but along with those branching paths, there's like verticality as well. So like there are big mountains that you can go on, like corridors that you can go through, and so it's like many different ways to get to certain spots. Like you have objectives there, so it's not totally like Elden Ring where you're just lost and it's like, hey, go find things. So there are like an actual objective, and it's like, hey, you need to go here, but there are still so many different things that you can explore here. So I found it very interesting. So it's easy to to get lost, but to find certain things, treasure chests and extra materials and stuff like that, so you can level up. So that was super cool. I like the combat. The combat was for the most part pretty on point. It took a little bit to get used to at certain points for the interesting mechanics here that they have, but once you get the hang of it, it's pretty dope. So I like it so far. I can't say I'm 100% on board with the story, but I think that the gameplay and the platforming and the exploration elements will fully entrance me. But I loved it, man. I think I enjoyed the demo from start to finish what we played. So I'm definitely excited to play it whenever it drops.
Yeah, this is another game where for me it depends on when it comes out, because I know it comes out this year. If it comes
out July, bro. It comes out next month. I mean, yeah, it comes out next month.
It depends if we're still playing Elden Ring. I do want to play this. I actually really enjoyed the demo. I am a sucker for platformers, and the platforming felt really good. It was tight. She was moving real saucy, flipping and dipping all over the place. You get a double jump. You get this teleporting move that you can use and combine with like your fox. So like you're just unlocking and sliding all over the place. And like more importantly, the game rewarded you for the platforming, like with upgrades and stuff like that. So it was fun to explore and just like jump around. I like the use of the gun. You can use it offensively and defensively to like break people's like attacks and stuff like that. And even like the magic elements she has, because like the little fox that follows around is like a god and allows you to like combo different moves. And one thing that was actually really interesting and a unique mechanic is the risk reward system. I don't know if you had noticed that, but in the game, whenever you kill somebody, you gain XP or like runes, like any other kind of Souls-like game. And you can choose to let it stack, or you can choose to cash out. What I mean is, like, there's a percentage on the side of the screen, and every time you kill someone, the percentage goes up. So like you would garner more and more and more and more runes, but the moment you get hit, you lose it all. So you have to try to figure out when you want to claim your runes and when you don't, because if you don't always claim them, you'll get rewarded. I thought that was really cool, and different thing to like the formula or whatever. The combat felt really good. The abilities, it was a little janky, like in certain areas. Like I would slide off cliffs sometimes, or like there'd be like weird animations. I would say this definitely felt more like a double A game than a triple A game. But like this is those type of games I low-key like. I like these games where like it's experimenting and trying things new. And more importantly, it's gonna be on Game Pass, so it's gonna be free. So that's why I was like, at bare minimum, I know I'm gonna play it because it's on Game Pass. It's just a matter. I don't know if I'll be there day one, because I got to figure out, what's going on. I don't know. They say 70 hours of content in Shadow or Erdtree. We might be here all summer. I don't know.
We got 3 weeks. The game comes out on July 18th. So
I will say, for those interested in the game, but you're intimidated by Souls-like games, it's a Soul-Lite. Lite. It's not light. I would say in terms of difficulty, this is more akin to like Jedi Survivor than it is to like an Elden Ring or a Lies of P. It wasn't that damn hard. You don't have to sit up in your chair and you're sweating. You just got to try a little bit.
That's crazy.
There are difficulties though, so keep that in mind.
It's a demo. I was playing on normal. I'm not playing on damn demo on hard.
Padawan gameplay.
Yeah, it was Padawan. Absolutely. I don't lie about what I do in my playthroughs. But,
hey. All right. Okay.
What's the name? But on normal, it felt like a fair challenge. Did you get a chance to get some time with the demo, Ethos?
I didn't get any time with it. I did watch JG play it. I actually have the demo downloaded. I was planning on playing it this week. There's like 4 or 5. I spent like time on Steam Next Fest, and I downloaded like 4 to 5 demos. I think just play through a couple of them and give my thoughts on them. But from what I saw, it looks really cool. I agree. I like the like how kind of like free her movement is and stuff like that. Like it's way more floaty than it is normally. Like for a lot of like From Software games or just Souls games where they kind of ground you a lot. This one was really nice to have a little bit more of that cool like double jumping and stuff like that. I mean, it's got a black woman in it, so we must stand. DEI culture for life. It's
not culture according to them.
Oh, it is culture. That's why they hate it. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna play it. Like I said, it's on Game Pass. We gotta push the agenda. So I'll be playing it on Game Pass, see if it's any good. Yeah.
There you have it. That's the demo for Flintlock. Definitely keep an eye out on it. When does this shit come out, Flint?
July 18th, sir.
July 18th, Game Pass. If you're looking for something and you have the Game Pass, which is a actual perfect segue into our next conversation, which was the Xbox Showcase for 2024. E3 doesn't exist anymore, but we have a thing called Summer Gamesfest, which is basically E3 where everybody has their press conferences except for Sony and Nintendo. They try to be different. Sony just had like a state of the play, which we'll talk about later. But I want to start like more on a positive note, because in my opinion, I'm going to assume you two probably agree. I think the whole internet kind of agreed. Xbox had the best showcase this summer. It was like an hour-long show, and it was just like maybe an hour and a half, just banger after banger after banger. If you didn't see something that you like, I am going to question whether or not you're into games. You don't have to like everything, but like there had to be something. There was literally there was something there for everyone. There was RPGs, shooters, like all that shit. It was great. It was fucking great. And we're gonna talk about the things that they were revealed. Some of the big announcements was Black Ops 6. We got to first look at that. Fable. Gears of War E-Day, which is a prequel to Gears of War, starring a younger Dom and Marcus during Emergence Day. Let me see what else we had. What was the name of that game with the girl that was in the bayou?
That is South of Midnight.
South of Midnight. That was cool. Doom of Dark Ages. They announced that.
That looks hard, man. Like good.
God, let's talk about it, man. So I like Doom.
That's his ass.
I'm not gonna say it's ass, but I
like
ain't no way. You better not.
I'm not gonna say it's ass, but
no.
Let me just preface. I liked Doom's 2016, and I liked Doom Eternal, and I saw Doom Dark Ages, and I got excited, and then I read an article about some of the changes they're making to it, and I was like, I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence now. I got to get some hands on them. So one of the changes that they made is they said that every time we make a new Doom, we play the old Dooms to see what we can try to figure out to make something different for the gameplay. And the gist of the article was in the interview, he said that the game is going to be more heavy and more grounded. And I was like, the thing I like about Doom is the fact I was running and gunning and swinging all over the place. And just the fact that it seems like they're going to be a little bit more heavy on their feet. I got to play it to see what that means. I went back and looked at the trailer and I was like, he kind of was just on the ground the whole time, very heavy footed. And then they try to justify it by having the shield with the chainsaw on it or whatever. But it sounds like it's going to be a much more grounded game versus what I really liked about Doom was like whenever you would enter an arena, you have all these enemies, but then you have these areas like stairs and stuff you can climb up and jump off of, and areas you can swing around and stuff like that. It was very kinetic and always on the move. And like it almost, what he described, maybe I interpreted it wrong, but what he described is almost like they're removing things that I liked about the last two. What's y'all take on that?
Well, I mean, I hope that that's not true, because I mean, literally the last scene was, look, he was like in a glider of some sort, so like he was able to traverse. But again, that's not in an actual like area where you like kind of in a mini arena trying to get through all of the enemies. So I hope that's not. But I mean, it may be some truth to it though, because like you said, you did mention the shield, and that looks like a very important aspect, not just a regular weapon, but that's going to look like a staple for the majority of the game. So we shall see, and there may be some truth to it. And if so, I mean, it's going to, drop my expectation just slightly, but it still looks fire. Like the game just looks amazing, and it's Doom.
I found the article. Let me bring it up. If you are F-22 fighter jet in Doom Eternal, this time around, we wanted to feel like an Abrams tank, he added. And it's an analogy that's indicative of what it is steering Doom the Dark Ages towards. It means you're more powerful and grounded. The combat system for new players, those who only got it into Doom with the reboot, I think with the Dark Ages, they're going to feel like this is a reimagined combat system. But for longtime fans of the series, people who played the original Doom, you'll see it's really a return to form. What does that mean in real terms? Martin says the spirit of the original game comes alive in a number of ways, but perhaps the most notable is with respect to how you move. You're heavier, more powerful, and grounded, he says. We're making strafing to aim a thing again. You'll be weaving between projectiles just like you did in the original Doom to deliver that super shotgun blast to the chest. It almost creates this three-dimensional shoot-'em-up puzzle that you're weaving your way through. And that's what I mean. I was like, I don't want to play Doom from the 90s. Like, that's what I liked about the new Doom. It was different. So maybe, am I interpreting that wrong? I was like, I don't know.
No, it sounds boring.
I just think, unfortunately, there's a segment, I think, of Doom people who also are like, they call it New Doom. So like, NU Doom. I think some of them are like, they don't like the new Doom because like when they added all the platforming stuff in internal and made it all the kind of like Titanfall stuff where it's like double jump, extra jumping, dashing, they kind of felt that kind of like wasn't what Doom was like, because it wasn't like that back in the day. I remember playing it way back like on Windows 98 or something. It's weird. Because I feel like OGs will like it.
I feel like I just sucked the air out of the room. Like,
I feel like it's a lose-lose. I feel like you can't make either side happy. Like, you do that, maybe the old school people like it, but now all the people who got into the game because of the reboots, they don't like it because like they're expecting to be more like fast-paced, Titanfall-y, and it's not like that now. Like, they're expecting to be more like Eternal, and it doesn't play like Eternal. But then again, that was a criticism Eternal got. Eternal got criticism, I think. That was like the biggest criticisms, I think. Like it was like widely praised, but I remember that, like one of the reoccurring criticisms, like some people didn't like the platforming segments. They felt like it took away from the experience. And then some of them felt that they felt like the gameplay loop was too, it was too like trying to be arcade shootery, like fast paced and like trying to keep up with like the times instead of like being what old school Doom was like. I
guess my counter argument to that is you didn't have to do that because they had like the side to side like dodge moves, so you could have just stayed on the ground if you wanted to, and you still could have been combat. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, I agree with you. It's a lose-lose. Now you're removing features, the things that like the newer players liked, and you're only appeasing to the older, when the older could have just played old school, just stayed on the ground. I guess that's what confuses me, the design choice behind what they're going with. And then like if you go back and you look at the trailer, like, yeah, he was just on the ground the whole time. I was like, damn, it kind of coordinates what he said in the article.
There's no jump. Like, was he able to jump? Do you see?
There's a moment where he's flying. So that's why I said I'm gonna wait to see and get some hands-on time with it, especially because it's gonna be on Game Pass. So I'm gonna still try it. So like there's gonna be like some flying moments. It's just like the shooting, it looks like it's mostly just kind of running and gunning. And I'm
more like what's the name of those? Bullet Hell. Where you
yeah. And I'm like, I played that before. Like what I liked about the new Doom is it did try something new, but I get it. They're trying to, appease like the older people.
Try it out, play the game. I'm gonna make sure the dust is in the comments to piss you off. Remember that?
Yeah,
Final boss on Eternal. Yeah, man. Yeah, Ronan, yeah, man. Double trouble. I'm gonna make sure they both in your chat, boy. Giving you hell.
Your head beyond your head.
Fucking annoying, bro. What's the name? What y'all think about Black Ops 6?
As a Black Ops fan,
they got you.
I hate them, bro. I hate them because they got me too.
They got me. I think once again, I always said that I feel like Treyarch was always the better one compared to Infinity War. And I feel like every single time they kind of prove it. And this one seems like a return to form. I mean, there's new stuff, don't get me wrong, and it's cool stuff. Like, these mechanics aren't necessarily, like, never seen before in other shooters. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen, like, the indie side of, like, shooting games. They've been experimenting with, like, the whole, like, John Wick, kung fu type stuff where you're, like, jumping and, like, action shooter type stuff. But to see it now being pushed in, like, a AAA game, I think that's really cool. The movement looks awesome. Looks like something that I love. Like, that's my type of movement system. Like, I love movement systems where you got dashes, little dodges and stuff like that. I love that type of shit. Combat looks good. Campaign's back. My boy Woods is back. He in the wheelchair, so Black Ops 2 is canon. Yeah, I mean, it's everything I asked for. Even the zombie fans are ecstatic about it. Even the zombie fans said they're ecstatic to see it's coming back to, like, round-based. No more open world crap. It's all round-based, how, like, the OGs used to be. A lot of it just, like, visually, like, everything that they showed, I was like, yes. Like, there wasn't anything where I was like, ugh. Everything looked good.
2 zombie maps at launch, they said. They have a new omnidirectional movement. Yo, when they announced it, it honestly felt like a giant fuck you to XDefiant. Because, like, the main thing that, like, people have been praising about XDefiant, the movement's amazing, so cracked out. And then Call of Duty was like, okay, well, we're going to crack it out even more. Like, you can move, like, and dive and, like, in any direction. That shit looked like, for, like, high-skill players, it's going to be infuriating to deal with it. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, oh, Siggy's going to love this shit.
It's going to be embarrassing. Like, imagine you, dolphin dive, people are going to love it. Like, people who like the drop shot, they're going to love this game. Or they're going to hate it because it maybe messes with,
might
like,
be too much.
Yeah. But I did think about, it would be nuts. I'm pretty sure, like, some people are going to rage quit. Like, imagine you're chasing a sniper down and he turns around the corner and you try to, like, you jump around the corner, try to shoot him, and he, like, jumps back on his back and like, quick scopes you. Like, that, I can imagine that shit's going to be infuriating. Like, there's definitely going to be points where I feel like I'm going to be mad when people kill me, like, style on me and kill me like that. But overall, I mean, I like advanced movement. I've always liked that stuff, so I'm on board with this 100%.
They said the story is going to be pretty short, which, I don't mind. 6 hours long. It's going to be DI. Yeah, Black Man's going to be
Black Marine. Yeah, it's a black dude.
He's on the cover, too.
He's on the cover. You got to look at him every time you boot up the game.
I joked about that, but I was like, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of the main characters in the Xbox games, they announced they were black characters.
Well, they're black. When we noticed that, we were all sitting there like, there's a lot of
My thing is, like, people. Is it really DEI if they're all black? Like, maybe you're the DEI if you think about it. Freaking, what'd you think, Jay?
Nah, it actually looks really good. I saw some features. I was like going around the corner and like the guns like move with you, like so you can like peek around the corner. It's not actually just like leaning out. But I was like, man, like I feel like I actually took the time to like get some new features into your Call of Duty instead of giving us the same old like copy and paste crap. And they said they're going back to like maps. They're going back to like the typical like 3-lane type of maps there. So hopefully the new maps that they come up with aren't trash and they don't have to like resort back to old school, a Black Ops map. So like some of those things like it just like looks more promising. I'm like, damn, I really hope that they don't get me just like they did when they brought Modern Warfare back. Because I remember like I was like, damn, man, I haven't played Call of Duty in so long, and now Modern Warfare got rebooted, and now I'm like a fan again and wanted to get back into it. And I felt like this is the exact same thing happening with me with Black Ops 6. Like I'm like, damn, like now Treyarch wants me to get back into it. it. So we'll see how it ends up going. But like, if nothing else, like again, it's on Game Pass. We mentioned it before, so there's no reason for me to not at least try it. And if I don't like the multiplayer, I think I'm going to like this campaign. If nothing else, like the campaign looks gas, so I definitely want to play that. If nothing else, like they actually have me like mildly excited for it. So I'm like, all right, Treyarch, you got me. Maybe y'all being under the Microsoft umbrella now with Activision, maybe y'all get it together and actually give us some innovative stuff and make Call of Duty refreshing again.
Apparently, this one was 4 years in development, which is a year longer than usual. And I think a telltale sign, I'm not saying this game will be good, but a sign I feel like that they are confident about it is the fact that, like, I feel like this is the earliest in the Call of Duty cycle where they revealed this much. Like, usually we get like one trailer and then they just kind of trickle information out. If you watch the Xbox Showcase, not only did they have a trailer, but at the end of the showcase, they did 25 minutes of straight gameplay showing multiplayer and like the zombies, like they showed a lot of different stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, they must be feeling good about this because they're not trying to nickel and dime us. They're trying to make sure you know what you're getting when it comes to Game Pass. So I feel like
Sorry, I was gonna say, I wonder if that's the Microsoft influence. Like, this is the first time we've seen like a Call of Duty is about to release under Microsoft's like flag. And granted, this game was in development long before Microsoft took over, so Activision has been cooking it for a while. But I wonder if their marketing layout was like it was pushed harder than normal because like, Xbox was like, yeah, we want to push it harder because we need to make a lot of money. We need to make a lot of money back for what we've been buying recently. And
I think they will when it drops.
I think they're gonna make a lot.
I think we all said it on the last podcast that us keeping our Game Pass will be determined on whether or not Call of Duty is there. So I was like, I guess I gotta stay subbed. Yeah, Flintlock coming too. Finally got something to play. Lucky y'all. How did y'all feel about Gears of War E-Day? I know you're a big Gears head, Jay.
Yeah, I was excited about this one. It's been rumored for a while, and I mean, from the gameplay trailer, which again, I don't know, like this.
This was never rumored. This is why people were excited. Gears 6,
I never saw this.
Gears 6 was rumored. This is a prequel.
Yeah, well, no one they were saying Gears, period. But yeah, you're right. The specifics of it, but I mean, they were saying another Gears was coming, but we didn't know that it was going to be a prequel. I think that's dope. Like when we saw Dom. Like, people were about to shed tears, bro. They like, hey, yo.
That should mean something to me, man.
Yeah, they like, my boy Dom. So they did a really good job with the trailer. And they said that it's in-engine. I know that there was some controversy. Jeff was getting killed on Twitter, and they community noted him. So they were like, oh, because this isn't CGI. They were saying it was in-game, but then there's
rumors this is pushing Unreal to the limit.
Yeah, so UE5, man, it's looking amazing, bro.
I mean, they've always done that. Gears always, but when it was under Epic, they always used to push.
It was always the poster child.
It was almost like
Coalition has so many.
Yeah,
they have such a relationship with Epic because of that relationship with Gears.
Yeah, UE5,
and people who used to be with Epic now working with Coalition, that they've always seemed to have, like, you know how like some developers, like, they get a little bit of help. Others are like, they work on the engine, but this is like, the secrets of how, like, the real, like, deep parts of the engine, how you can really tweak it to really like push it to its max. So like the locusts are back, so people are excited about that too, not just Dom. So it's so many like nostalgic moments here. So I'm very excited. We saw Marcus Phoenix with his bandana off.
How he got the cut on his face.
Bro, they got the cut. Ram is back. General Ram's going to be back too because he would fit in the timeline of this. He's not killed until the first game, so
fuck the nostalgia. This excites me just because, like, it just reminded me, because I feel like for people who are the outside looking in who didn't play Gears, if you never played Gears, it's easy to look at it like the character design and be like, oh, this is a meathead game. It is a game with very strong lore and characters and character development, and like that's what got me excited. Like, yeah, it's a prequel, but it's during Emergence Day. And one thing that got me really excited about that, for those who haven't played Gears, that's the day the locust came from out of the ground, and humans didn't know what the fuck that was. So, like, I remember I was talking about it on a stream. I was like, one thing they could really lean into, since humans didn't know what the locusts were, they can lean into the horror aspect. If you remember, and then an article came out the next day, and they was like, "Oh yeah, we're leaning into that shit." I was like, "Oh, let's go!" And then
the first game did have those horror effects.
Yeah, remember you had to hide from the bats and shit.
Yep. Yeah. Remember the Berserker? Like, that shit was terrifying.
Fighting Ram at the end of the game was scary.
Berserker was fucking terrifying. That was like, bro.
So I'm like, yo, if they do some shit with the some immaculate lighting with Unreal Engine 5, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be fire on co-op, hardest difficulty. And then also another thing that got me excited, because of the timeline, yo, You was talking about Dom. We might see what happened to Dom's wife, like what really happened that led to that shit. Like there's so many, there's so many different cool. We can see the first car mine or some shit like that. They tried
to see a lot of stuff. Like for example, like we get to see the Civil War. So like they showed on the
pendulum
TV,
war,
because that was like one that's been like hinted at, and like I think there's like flashbacks. I think in some of the games where they show how crazy it was because it was like humans killing humans. I didn't know this, but according, I guess somebody said this on Twitter, was that according to the lore, the chainsaw gun was not made in the Pendulum War. It was made as a result of the locusts. Like when the locusts pull up, that's when they developed the chainsaw. So we're actually going to see like what was the thought process behind why they created this weapon to fight the like why was it so effective? When originally they were just using like regular, I guess like assault rifles before they changed it. That's cool too.
I think my one concern with this game is it being a prequel. What are they going to do to push boundaries in terms of gameplay? We know what to expect from the basics, but what kind of new mechanics and new guns? And then also, how are you going to fit it in lore wise?
How do you not break the lore?
Yeah, and do people care if you break the lore? Because I feel like there's potential. That's always the issue with prequels. You could fuck up the timeline.
Unless you say this is a retelling of the entire verse,
a reboot, basically.
Maybe, if we reboot, like if we're soft rebooting it, then we're allowed to have those liberties. We're like,
would y'all be upset by that?
Didn't exist.
No,
I wouldn't care.
Wouldn't.
I wouldn't
The
care.
original trilogy, I feel like, is perfect in its own thing. I think that was the problem that 4, 5, and 6 had. They had such a legacy to build off of, and it was hard for them to figure out, like, well, how can we up Marcus Phoenix and Dom? And they just couldn't do it. But I think, like, if you go back to the OG, there's so much stuff. It would be like no different than us, like talking about how if Mass Effect went back and talked about the first Contact Wars, like how hyped we'd be to see Anderson, like in peak form of him, like
fighting Turians and shit.
Yeah, like in fighting Turians and how scary that was. Like that would be like, that's kind of like what that's Gears' first Contact War. And I think that would be like really cool to like witness, to see like just the tactics. We're not even thinking of too. Did they have the hammer? Like, were they using the hammer of Dawn during the Pendulum War? Like, was that like were they killing other people?
In
was
flashbacks, it did exist. You remember, because you had to use an older one, but it was much slower. It wasn't like the little gun thing. If I remember, they were on a computer. It did exist.
Right. So like these are cool things where it's like, we're going to see for the first time humans reacting to a threat they've never seen before. Like, how do you fight the big finger monster thing? Like, how do you even react to that type of thing where you've never seen this thing before? And like what you said, like the locusts actually like working like with the queen, advising them and giving them orders and tactically probably just destroying you. I hate to say it like this, but it's Gears 9/11. Like that was their 9/11 day.
It's got to have a sad ending, because remember in Gears 1, you started off with this nigga in jail. Like, I want to see how he ended up in prison.
Exactly. That's the thing I'm saying. There's so many cool things, like questions that like they kind of like they just speak about it or they have a conversation about it. And Marcus's dad, that's another big thing because they explore that in 3. But I think he plays like a bigger role in the past, like before that point. So like about how like they were mutating and testing the monsters and shit like that. Like this is another thing that we could be looking into. Yeah, no, it's gonna be really
getting exciting. I'm getting excited.
Getting excited.
But the thing that most excites me about this game is the Nomad Killer is back.
He's back.
If that multiplayer is fire, we need to do some 1v1s and we need to instigate it. Or do Team Ace versus Team Nomad.
Nomad. Yeah.
I will be throwing. I will be.
Whatever team I'm on, I will be throwing. I will throw.
You two can meet in the middle, boy. That's going to be some quality content.
Everybody, like, everyone just agrees. We just kill each other and we just leave them left. Like,
oh, man. But I mean, this is one I was like, oh, that actually got me out of my chair. I was like, okay, let's fucking go. Gears is back.
What did Doom say? I am standing right now.
This was for the fucking culture. We love to see that shit. I'm trying to see. Let me look at the rest of this list. What else we got on here? They showed a preview of Assassin's Creed, but we'll get into that more later, as well as Dragon Age. We'll get into the. What did y'all think of Fable?
Look good.
Looked good to me.
We didn't say a lot, but look good.
I never played Fable though, so I'm like different.
I never played it either. It would be my first one. Why are you looking at me?
I'm willing to try it out, but I've never played Fable.
Swore you played Fable. One of y'all played Fable.
Mm-mm.
You didn't play 2?
Never played any of them. Never played any of them.
Fox, the only one that played Fable, and me?
Yeah, I guess so.
I could have swore you played. I could have swore like back in the day you had a video with like Fable gameplay.
I never played Fable.
No,
I was a Gears head. I was stuck to it.
No, you wasn't playing no single player RPGs.
No, I was playing Blue Dragon. What you know about that?
Yeah, I remember Blue Dragon.
That's a deep cut.
Crazy. Yeah, that's a kind of a deep cut.
Don't ever try to pull my card, nigga.
It's like that. Like, I'm pretty sure I got to confuse something like that. My friends don't even believe that. Yeah.
I think Perfect Dark though, that was a surprise. I think this is a reboot of the series. What y'all think of that?
I need that shit in my veins, bro.
Perfect Dark. When I first saw it, I was like, "Man, this looks a lot like Deus Ex."
Deus Ex, yeah. I was like,
and then I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot about Perfect Dark."
Perfect Dark.
And I was like, "Whoa!" Like this, like it was interesting because it was like a mix between Deus Ex and then kind of like the latest Splinter Cell, with like some of the like slow down, like I'm gonna, it was a lot of things, and I was like, wow, like this is like totally different. Like this is a complete reboot, honestly, because it doesn't have any name. It's just Perfect Dark, so I would assume this is some sort of reboot.
It's been so long, it's okay for them to reboot it.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody really
heard it was in development hell too. Like there was rumors that it had been rebooted twice internally, and they were trying to figure out like how the hell we make it. But I mean, from what I've seen, it looks good. But we'll see if they can actually make it into a full game instead of if this is not just some like feelsy tech demo that they're showing.
It looked good to me. I like the parkour. The shooting looked good.
Yeah, after Joanna.
I was told when I saw the parkour, I thought it was Mirror's Edge for a second. I was like, "Is this Mirror's Edge?"
It definitely looked like it did.
I thought it was
like
Mirror's
that
Edge.
Dishonored kind of like
yeah. Is this Dishonored? Is this Mirror's Edge? And then it ended up being like oh, so this is like a mixture of like Dishonored, Deus Ex, and Deus Ex, Mirror's Edge. Dishonored, yeah, those three.
I said Splinter Cell, yeah. Like,
Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell too, yeah.
I hope they get it right because the last Perfect Dark that was on 360, that shit was ass, and it was disrespectful to the legacy. It was really bad. It was really bad.
It was terrible.
I think people only tolerate it because it was a launch title, and at the time it was graphically like impressive. But like if you play it, like it did not age. It's really bad. What's the name? So like I'm hoping this restores people. A lot of people grew up. Y'all don't know about Perfect Dark. It was one of the biggest games on the N64. It was one of the best shooters. So like hopefully they can bring it back to glory. I think
to GoldenEye.
Yep. I think one of my favorite things about the Xbox Showcase, I don't know if y'all noticed, it was like 80% of what we saw was coming to Game Pass, and then every game was coming out in either 2024 or 2025. I think that's what impressed me the most. These are games that are within arm's reach. They're going to be playable, and that's something for me. I'm so sick and tired of trailers coming out and then it's 2028. No, nigga, we don't want to see it, bro. We don't want to fucking see it until it's ready. What would y'all rate this showcase out of 10?
I give it a good 8 or 9, to be honest.
I gave it an 8.5. I gave it an 8.5.
There were some other games I can just run through, like Expedition 33. What Ethos got in trouble for? Ethos got in trouble, man. We got to talk about it, man.
Wait, what you got in trouble for?
I made a Persona joke.
Oh yeah, your tweet that went viral.
Yeah. And motherfuckers was not happy about
That's the RPG one, right?
Yes,
that one
it's like a hype.
It did look fire.
Yeah,
but yeah, it looked good. Expedition 33 looked good. We finally saw what Metal Gear Solid looked like. The Metal Gear Solid 3 remake that looked fire. Wu-Chang looked dope. A lot of people weren't talking about that.
JG ass game.
Yeah, no, definitely a JG ass game. Like it's gonna be Souls based too, so this might be like the successor to Wulong or something. So that looked good. Flintlock, we already talked about. We actually got to play it. And it was something else.
Oh, Stalker 2 looked good.
Stalker 2 looked good. Life is Strange, we back.
Bruh.
We back. Double explosion. Shut up. Hey,
shut up. Shut up.
I'm listening to two 30-plus-year-old men.
Shut up.
Fucking get excited about that teeny bopper ass game.
You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about that. You don't know nothing about
Valley Girl Simulator.
No, it's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. It's deeper than that. You don't understand.
Audi 5000.
That shit, nah, bro. That shit means something to me, bro. We got Max back in the Ultimate Universe. That was
Mecha Break. How we feel about Mecha Break?
We've seen that already, but it does look good. It does look good.
I'm there day one.
Yeah, Mecha Break look good. I don't know how I feel about Frag Point. How I feel about Frag Point because it's a hero shooter.
Give it a shot. I'll give it a shot.
It's on Game Pass. If there's nothing to play, I'll try it.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence about that. When we get into Diablo 4 expansion, I don't know how many people care about that one.
Only Flock was
the trailer looked good. Well, I don't know.
I like the Dragon Age.
I did too. That's why I saved it for a different section. I saved it for a different section.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay,
because they did a whole gameplay reveal for like 20 minutes outside of that joint.
Yeah, and Adam Fall, I'm kind of on the fence too as well.
Yeah, that one. I don't know.
But they had a lot of good looking games, man. Like I said, I do I do thoroughly enjoy like Microsoft's new approach to their conference. They're like, we're not going to give y'all any fluff. We're not going to do too much talking. We're just going to show y'all the games. If we have some extra things to say, about whatever video game we're going to say it. But let's just get straight to it. Like this is what y'all are here for. Y'all want to see the game, so let's deliver. This is one of these aspects where our good friend Paris was right. He got a W on this because he said that it's going to get at least a 7.5 out of 10, and he ain't lied this time, man. He got some bangers on this one.
He said number one DEI source.
I heard there's a rumor this isn't even all of it. I heard that they had even a lot more.
I heard that from Paris.
I saw like other people on my timeline.
Yeah, he was the one that okay. He was the original source.
They cited him as the source. Yeah, they cited him as the source.
That's what I put in the group chat. Oh, how the tables have turned because now they're using Paris as a source when they said he's an Xbox fanboy. I was like, that's just funny.
They say he's insiders. Yeah, they got it from him.
Yeah,
I hope it's true. Sense. We love seeing more games.
I mean, you brought up all those damn studios. You better have a bunch of games.
Exactly.
Better.
Do y'all feel like people forgave them for the studio closures after the?
You know what's crazy about that? That's what I kind of found a little disturbing. Was that like everybody literally 2 weeks ago or a month ago, we were all like up in arms about like, fuck Xbox. I'm unsubscribing for my Game Pass. How dare they take out Tango for that made that great game, and then it was literally like, I'm not gonna lie to you, it's literally like that memory just got washed. No one cared anymore.
You know what? There's an old saying: "Winning solves everything." Nobody knew Shaq and Kobe were fighting until they started losing.
Later. Yeah. maybe that's the case. Maybe Xbox did that and they're like, yeah, we're gonna take a hit here, and people are gonna be pissed at us. But like, don't forget about this. And how we always say that too, right? Like people are on Twitter always like, doing God, I forgot the phrase. The performative. They're just doing performative art. They don't really care. They act like they care.
Well, we know they don't care. They don't buy games. We have. They don't
really care.
Yeah, they don't.
And then the moment something new comes out, they're 180ing everything.
I still don't like how Phil made all those decisions and then they put Sarah Bond on the front to take all the fire. I still don't like that shit. I still feel it was really bad. They did a good job with this, but at the same time, I'm like, I feel like you're still not out of the doghouse for that. Like you guys got to, all these games got to come out and be fire. And then on top of that, the answers he gave about why they laid off those studios, talking about sustainable and shit, that's not good enough in an answer. For me, how'd y'all feel about that footage that surfaced online about when IGN was interviewing Phil Spencer and he was asking about the studio closures? Everybody in the crowd was cheering, and then somebody who was in the crowd recorded, and I guess IGN was giving people T-shirts to cheer. How y'all feel about that?
It's typical, like it's just like the laugh track, like back in the day. It's like the laugh track. Oh, just laughing at joke. Like it's whatever, man. I mean, it does suck like once you hear about it, but I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised about it at all.
Yeah, my take on that is people were trying to go at Xbox, which, I found it to be funny that they did that. They worked with IGN to do that because, like, you guys had a good showcase. You didn't have to do that. Just eat the L when he asked the question. But I also think it's funny because everybody's coming at Xbox and IGN, and I'm like, well, what about the people in the crowd? Because we've been to these events. And I don't know if y'all remember, like, whenever we would go to a press conference, specifically I remember the Xbox ones, if you're inside of the stadium, we've been to E3s. There's TVs all inside of where they're doing the recordings, and they tell you when to clap. You don't have to clap. That was their choice. So don't ever forget your fellow gamers were out there hooting and hollering and shucking and jiving for a T-shirt. That was their choice. Don't ever forget that shit. Motherfuckers love to act like they care about these studio closures. Nigga said free T-shirt? Fuck Tango. Like what? What are we talking about here, bro? Everybody's fraudulent. Everybody's fraudulent.
Yeah.
But overall, Xbox 8.5. I thought it was a good showcase. One of the best they've had in a while, actually.
I'd say in years.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir. You know, it wasn't, though, at least in my opinion, Summer Gamesfest. This shit was ass.
Too back ass.
5 out of 10.
Total 180, man, bro.
We don't even have to talk about it. Do we really have to go through it? Let's not even talk about it.
We can just quick go through it,
I don't even want to remember that.
Wait, hold on. Lego Horizon?
That's how they started off, bro.
That's how you knew that shit was gonna be weak as fuck. Lego Horizon, like what the fuck? Who asked for that? Fucking wait, they showed off Harry Potter Quidditch. Didn't you like that?
That was the only good thing.
Are you allowed to talk about that?
I don't know. Should I talk about it?
Nah, don't. If you don't know,
my NDA.
They showed off some Star Wars. We'll talk about that later. Sid Civilization, Dragon Ball. We'll talk about that later. Oh, Batman: Arkham Shadow, the Batman VR game.
We haven't seen any gameplay, so on the fence.
Well, I was gonna say fuck that game anyway. Like it's VR.
And man, I was so mad because Jeff was like, yeah, Rocksteady, we're going back to the Batman Arkham series. Everybody was like, and then it was like VR game. I'm like, oh, like man, we wanted Rocksteady to come back with some continuation on the Batman Arkham series. Not that.
I'm good off that. I don't need a stomach ache. Street Fighter 2 year 2 characters: Bison, Terry Bogard, Mai, Alina. Collaboration between King of the Fighters, Fatal Fury.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say shit about that.
You don't know it? Oh, okay. Yeah, quit it.
Nah, I'm not gonna say it.
That's why I asked. We always be safe. We always be safe.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything.
All right.
Oh, what about y'all old heads? Y'all like the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers joint?
I do.
Yeah,
I actually do.
I
love those people.
Little Hasbro 2D side scroller beat 'em up. They showed Mecha Break again. First Descendant. That shit was just CG. Oh, Alan Wake 2 DLC. Wasn't you excited about that, Ethos?
Yeah, I'm gonna play it when I get some free time. Hopefully, sometime soon. There's a lot of shit I'm trying to do right now, but I'm excited for it. I saw what's her name? What's her name? Homegirl that she was helping write on Ragnarok. She used to be on IG.
The Australian chick.
Why am I playing her name?
Alana Pierce.
Thank you. Yes, Alana Pierce. Yeah, I saw Twitch actually gave me a good recommendation. They recommended me. She was streaming it, so I just watched her stream like the first episode, and I was like, "Oh, this is really cool." So yeah, I'll definitely play it. I stopped watching, so I didn't want to get spoiled. But
Valorant on console? Huh?
Someone gave me a beta key for that. Y'all want it?
No.
Okay, I guess it's just me then. I don't want it either. I don't want to play on console, but it's on console now. So sorry. I hope to God there's no crossplay for them.
Nomad just hopped on Multiversus. That game dead.
Yep, confirmed.
Oh, what about Killer Bean? That looked pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. No, actually, Killer Bean looked like a good time though.
Yeah, that looked actually one of the best games announced this year. Just the wrong showcase, but it looked like just silly fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I liked it too. That was cool.
Yeah, other than that, so Power World content, Monster Hunter, we've seen that. Phantom Blade Zero. A lot of people were really talking about that one and gassing that one up, and people were asking me what I thought, and I'm like, my thoughts are, this is like the third time they've shown it. Like, are y'all not paying attention? Like, it looks good. I'm good. This is definitely a day one cop, but I've seen it already. And to me, Summer Gamesfest is supposed to be, new shit. So like, it didn't really move me, but Phantom Blade Zero does look good.
No, I agree. I agree with that.
Overall, I would give this a 5 out of 10. I feel like Jeff is a little too focused on, half the show was like ads. A little too focused on ads, and you need to be focused more on getting better scoops. If you can't get them, don't do the show.
Don't do it.
Yeah, especially because rates came out, like developers were snitching and saying it costs $250,000 for 1 minute to advertise your game on the show, $400,000 for 2, and then I think like 5 something for 3. You got that money to advertise Samurai Zero, Ethos?
Fuck no. That's more than my budget.
Mind you, that's to advertise the games on the platform. We're not even talking about actual ads. So like this man is rolling in dough. And it's like, if you're getting all this money, you need to put on a better fucking show, dude. I'd imagine there's high cost to do this, the production as well. But
well, that's probably why. Probably the AAA, the big guys, the guys that are the big reveals are like, do we really need to pay him $250,000 just to showcase our game that we know is already going to be like a big like news thing once we reveal it? Nah, probably not. And they probably just, or Xbox. What I think happened, Xbox swooped it. In my opinion, if you look at the Xbox one, right? Like if you look at the Xbox list, how Xbox stole Dragon Age, Assassin's Creed Shadows from you, and you couldn't get those in your showcase. That's a sign that like either Microsoft had some like deals with those games or to show it on their showcase or something. But I think Microsoft just beat Jeff to the punch for a lot of the big bangers that I was expecting was going to show up for his show, but didn't.
Yeah, I think about it. Yeah, there were like some third-party joints on there. Just too much airtime for like 2D Metroidvania and Doom clone games, which no disrespect, but we've seen enough. Doom Dark Ages is coming.
Look, I'm all cool for creativity. I'm an indie person myself. I'm an indie developer, but please,
what
y'all gotta stop giving us blue balls. Y'all gotta stop doing these really cool 2D anime trailers and then cutting to the gameplay and it's a 2D pixel art game. Y'all gotta stop doing that. That it's borderline fraud.
Now y'all heard it. Hold on. Because when I say the same thing, every time I criticize indie developers, what do you have against indie developers? No, I want to see the little guy
This
win.
is coming from an indie dev himself. I think y'all don't got to do that, bro. Just show the game or just make the actual animation.
The beauty, it's just so ironic. The beauty of being an indie developer is you don't have to answer to mega corporations. Therefore, you can create what you want. And what are like 80 to 90% of y'all making? Fucking Metroidvania games, 2D pixel
y'all
art.
Are making
fake deep
Hollow Knight
games,
clones.
Fake deep games with some little girl and a deer in the forest, and Doom clones. Those are the 3 games. I'm tired of these games, dude. Make something new, man. But overall, that shit was a 2-pack of ass. How we feeling about Ubisoft Forward? This was like an hour-long show. The main heavy hitters
was what we were here for.
Yeah,
y'all knew we were.
Talk that DIE,
Yeah,
shit.
DI, bro.
DIE shit.
DI Samurai.
Yeah, Samurai.
How was you feeling about that? Star Wars and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh yeah, Ethos, you did a whole video about Outlaws. How'd you feel about it?
Oh yeah, you got some hands off time, or what does that mean?
My hands were indeed off.
Them niggas let you look at it early. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, at first I was like, what's the purpose of you doing? Because I thought I'm not gonna lie. At first I was gonna be pissed because I watched it ahead of time. So I saw everything that was gonna happen a week before. But I thought the footage that I was watching was gonna be when they gave me the embargo. I thought it was gonna be the same footage that they showed at the conference. Then I watched the VOD of the conference. I was like, oh wait, no, it's not. It's completely different. So then I wasn't mad at them. I was like, okay, they actually gave me exclusive new footage that just they'd never shown before. I think it's solid. I think we talked about it a little bit on the stream, but I don't think it's anything innovative. I don't think it's supposed to be anything different. I think it's just going to be a Ubisoft open world game. But I think the thing that will make it unique, I think it's going to be just like Hogwarts Legacy. I think it's going to sell a boatload because it is an open world Star Wars game. And that's something that like I said, I can't think of the last game that was an open world Star Wars game.
Jedi Survivor.
That was
semi-open world. It was semi.
It's open area, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily like a GTA. Like it's not open world. Like this game has some elements that are very similar to GTA. Like there's a wanted signal. There's a wanted system in the game. You know, different factions will hunt you in the open world. It lets you kind of like explore and go to different places, multiple different planets, and they're big open spaces. They're way bigger than I think what I've seen from like Jedi Survivor. So
I feel like
it's more like Metroid to me.
I feel like the demo for their hour-long showcase, they spent way too much time in Star Wars just walking around, and then the other half riding the bike. And I was just waiting for that moment where she just found an enemy camp she had to invade. And guess what? She did. I was like, it's another Ubisoft game, going to be a bunch of shit on the map, like Far Cry and Assassin's Creed. Go to the enemy camp. There's going to be a treasure chest or something. Got to take out some enemies. And, mission accomplished. I think this game is going to have to be hard carried by the story because everything that I've seen so far, I don't see anything here that warrants anything beyond a 7 out of 10. Like, it looks like a cool game, but like to me, this is gonna probably be wait till the price drops because this comes out a week after Wukong. Sorry, day one cop. And then I think
I'll be honest with you, Wukong's not gonna outsell this game. It's just
because Wukong is a new IP. Yeah, in Star Wars,
new IP from a Chinese studio that I think from a general gaming sense, because you gotta remember, we're tapped in. If you think about the greater gaming casual space, 1,000%, like I know some friends of mine who are like not really that tapped in, they're interested in this game because it is Star Wars, because it is it's not a Jedi game. You're not playing with a lightsaber. It's instead like a Han Solo like game, which some of them have that like power fantasy. They want to like experience that in a video game. So I think that this game, I will be shocked if this game does not sell. I think the only way that this game doesn't sell a lot of units is if the reviews come out and it's booty. But if reviews come out and they say it's a solid game, it's like an 8, it's a 7, it's a 6, 7, it's a 7 game, it's an 8 game. If it gets like 7 and 8s, it's gonna sell probably close to, I won't say exactly, but it'll sell really close to the amount that a Hogwarts sold. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the top 3 bestsellers this year.
Or plot twists. Star Wars fans are so upset about Star Wars Acolyte, they are boycotting all things Star Wars.
That's a small minority, you know it.
They're pretty mad about Acolyte.
It's a small vocal minority. I do not think in the greater scale of things that is
many together. Have you seen it?
What, Acolyte?
The Acolyte. Have you seen that shit,
I watched
bro?
the first 2 episodes.
No, the episode 3 is what got everybody mad.
Yeah, apparently episode
I'm
3 is the one.
It basically, I'm not gonna lie. When I watched it, I was like, okay, I kind of understand why people. It's not. I'm not gonna say. I don't think it's some DEI shit. It's just really bad writing. It kind of spits in the legacy of Star Wars.
I mean, people got mad about that movie I really liked, so I don't really care.
Wait, you like the last main Star Wars movie?
No, I fucking hated Rise of Skywalker.
What movie are you talking about?
I am in the minority that I genuinely, to this day, I still stand on it. Like, I enjoyed The Last Jedi. I genuinely enjoy that movie. The one that everyone hates. The one that, like,
which one is that?
The whole culture raised where people were like, burn Star Wars to the ground. The second movie in the new trilogy.
Oh, the one where she was flying in space.
Everybody lost their minds, and everyone,
shit
it was
blew
the
up.
worst shit they ever saw in their life, and everyone was pissed about it and said it ruined Star Wars. Just like how they're bitching now. It ruined Star Wars, all this shit. Like, yeah. I genuinely liked them. When I watched it the first time, I thought it was incredible. And then I watched it again, and I still enjoyed it. I get criticisms of it. I get why people do not like it, but I liked it a lot. The one that Ryan Johnson made, or Rian Johnson. He's Ryan, whatever the fuck his last name is.
So you're excited for more? You're excited for more Rey?
No, that's the funny part. I'm not excited about that movie I didn't like that movie because of Rey per se. I like the themes of that movie, and I think that Rise of Skywalker Rise of Skywalker was them just walking back everything that movie was trying to say, which, again, this is just my personal opinion, because I know people in the comments, how can you like this game? It's objectively, how can you like this movie? It's objectively terrible. I like the theming that it went somewhere different with Star Wars, which was, it made it where they basically said that Rey was not someone special. She was not somebody who was tied by a special. She wasn't a Skywalker. She wasn't supposed to be tied by somebody special. She was just like, anybody can be a Jedi. That's basically what the movie was trying to say. Anybody can be a Jedi. Anybody can step into the role that's necessary to make a change in the galaxy. And I felt that was powerful, and that was good. A lot of people fucking hated that shit. And then Skywalker comes in and just reneges on that and just basically says, no, that's bullshit. She's Palpatine's fucking grandson. And I was like, what the fuck? This is terrible. Like, this is out of nowhere. So yeah, it's a lose-lose at this point. I don't really care. You know, people be happy about it. People get mad about it. I liked it personally.
Fuck the last 2 movies. The ending to Rogue One is better than the last 2 movies.
Look, I'm a stand. I'll say the one the one that I stand. The recent one that I stand is Andor. I will stand.
I still haven't gotten around to watching it. Everybody keeps saying it's amazing. Yeah,
I don't care what nobody says. If you didn't like that movie, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's because if every 5 minutes you don't see a lightsaber swinging around, you think it's boring, and that means that you got a little pea brain. That movie has some of the best writing. I'm sorry, that movie has literally some of the best writing I've seen. Not just for Star Wars, but just good movies.
Yeah.
Show. It has some of the best writing I've seen for Star Wars. Like, period. I love it. The speech he has about how he'll never see the bright future and that he sacrificed everything. Some guy basically asks him, he's like, well, you hide in the shadows while we out there, fighting the Empire. You're hiding in the shadows doing all this fucking shadow manipulations with the rebels. What are you sacrificing? And he looked at him like, nigga, are you serious? Like, he's like, I've sacrificed my mental health, my stability. I'll never be able to see my kids. Like, I'll never be able to see the future that I'm setting up. I'm a domestic terrorist for the rest of my life. Like, they will kill me and my family if they find out what I've been doing. So yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend it. It literally has some of the best speeches I've ever seen in Star Wars. You should watch it.
Star Wars Outlaws.
It doesn't have a single Jedi in it. There's no Jedi in it, the entire thing.
Star Wars Outlaws is so mid. We're talking about the movies. Jay, what did you?
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
That should tell you what I think of the game. Jay, what did you think of the gameplay?
I remember when we first saw the small gameplay trailer. I was like, man, what the hell is this? I don't think this is going to be something I'm interested in. After seeing the extended gameplay trailer during Ubisoft Forward, I'm a little bit more interested in it. But I'm still not overly hyped about it. And again, I'm not one of those people that
don't worry,
just
Gigi.
wants.
We'll be able to play it. Unlike this guy.
Oh yeah, true.
He's gonna buy it. It's a tax write-off. Whatever.
What you saying? So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna end up trying it out regardless. But like I say, it got me a little bit more excited about it. But I'm not one of those type of people that I'm like, man,
I didn't
Star
care
Wars
about the
have
game.
a lightsaber. I'm like, no,
yeah, I didn't care about the game when they first revealed it. But when I saw the 30 minutes that they showed me and something like that, I wouldn't say I was fully sold and I'm on board. I feel like I kind of expressed that in the video I dropped about it, but I was like, okay, you have my attention. Like, instead of me like skipping this year, I'll probably play it. But I'm going into it with like not an expectation that this thing is supposed to be some like
same, very low expectations.
Insanely, yeah. Like I wouldn't say my expectations are like at the bin, like garbage bad, but I'm just at the expectation that like I'm about to play. Like, okay, you know how like, we felt about like Mafia 3, where it's like gameplay wise, everything else. It's like another open world game, but the story is what we love the most about it. That's kind of, I agree with you, TBH. That's the thing that the story's got to be really good. It's got to be.
Yeah, I feel like
they got to cameo some stuff. They got to cameo some really cool.
They got to bring Cal Kestis in this bitch, bro. Like it's the same timeline. She's supposed to be doing some heist. Maybe she finds a holocron. Come on, EA.
Is this during 4, right? Like this is between 4 and 5?
I think it's between episode 5 and 6 or
5 and 6. Oh, okay.
Maybe 4 and 5. I don't know. It's somewhere in that damn timeline. Cal's alive in this damn timeline. I know that much.
So Boba Fett might show up.
Definitely, it's a bounty. Like she's a scoundrel. He's a bounty hunter. Yeah.
Darth Maul could maybe show up as a cameo. Luke could show up. Han Solo. I have a feeling Han's going to be soloed in this. I know Lando. Lando was in the trailer. Lando was 100% in the trailer. I saw him in the trailer.
Darth Maul could be fire. I could see that because didn't he run like an underground gang or some shit like in the cartoons? Like he ran some type of organization.
But I think that was during the Clone Wars because that's not possible because Palpatine pulled up and beat the bricks off of him. Like it was bad. It was really embarrassing to watch. So he lost everything at the end of Clone Wars, and then he basically becomes like a hermit between 4 and 5 and whatever, or 4 until Obi-Wan kills him. So. Yeah.
Very interesting. Like I said, I'll probably get it when it's on sale. It's just too much coming out like out of nowhere, and thanks especially to the Xbox Showcase. Like just a lot of games are coming out this fall. Got a budget. Got to make sure we got enough time to do everything because there's only so much time in the day. The other thing that was shown that was big, the only other thing was Assassin's Creed DEI. I mean, they showed that Prince of Persia, but I would love to talk
about Prince of Persia remake and the other Prince of Persia
Ubisoft
expansions.
I know you guys are hurting for cash, especially after Skull and Bones. You know, you had to take a loan out from the Singapore government. But why did you guys put out 2 side-scrolling Prince of Persia games in the same year? Like, you don't think that's confusing to the average consumer? I don't know.
Definitely confusing.
XDefiant Season 1 Skull and Bones update. Anyway, let's talk about Assassin's Creed DEI. Assassin's Creed Samurai, they finally showed a full gameplay demo. We got to look at Sasuke, and I think her name is pronounced Naue.
You from Sasuke?
Sasuke Yasuke, my bad.
Yasuke.
I was like, Sasuke? My brain was like, what?
Sasuke! My bad. Yasuke. Yasuke is more of a brute. And Naue is the stealth. They pretty much confirmed what I was suspecting, that the main character is Japanese. It's the woman, and Yasuke is the muscle, and they're working together. I've seen a lot of people try to change their tune after what they saw. People were saying, "Oh, it looks good." No,
frauds.
Stay over there. There's a black guy. Stay over there. It's not good. What did you think of the Assassin's Creed gameplay, Ethos?
Looked fire. Looked like Ghost of Tsushima, which is good. I don't know why people are trying to say that like it's a negative. Ghost of Tsushima had really cool gameplay. So I see Assassin's Creed is kind of like taking it and push a little bit more. But at the same time, Ghost basically took Assassin's Creed's formula. So it's like kind of like a give and take.
Tenchu, like other ninja games.
Like, you know, you take a little bit from us, we take a little bit from you, it'll work out. I'm down for it. It looks cool. I'll probably play. Damn, I hate to say this, man, as a black man, but I think I'm gonna play. What's her name? Naue.
I don't think I'm gonna play Yasuke because I want to play Assassins. I don't want to.
I want to play the Assassin, and she looks fire. Like her mechanics and stuff look really cool. The animations too look really cool, really good. They did a really good job with her. Like the way that I don't know if you saw like her parkour.
She was flipping off the walls and shit.
It looks. I haven't seen that much detail since Unity.
Yeah,
Unity had that level of like detail when you parkour, and they dialed it back because it was a lot. So I wonder if like they're pushing the envelope like they did with Unity, but then Unity they pushed it too far and they didn't have enough time to polish it. But I wonder if this time, now that they've had enough, it seems like this one took a while for them to make. This one I feel like they have to nail. Like this is one that people have been asking for a very long time. We've been asking for it since. Damn, like Assassin's 3, I think that was like what everybody said. Like after 3, I think everybody was like, please go to Japan, and they just like, no. So it took Ghost, I guess, to finally convince them that, yeah, we should probably do this now. No, it looks fire. I really got no complaint about it. It looks like kind of the new Assassin's Creed, but I don't see RPG elements, right? I didn't see a lot of RPG stuff. Got good stealth, good animations, story. If the story's cool, I think it's gonna be dope. Shouts to Yasuke. His animation moveset looks dope. It looks like he plays more like a Elden Ring type of, more like if you're playing like a heavy Claymore type person. I love the decapitations, the blood, the gore. It looks cool. The people trying to make the whole racist thing about the music. I thought it sounded cool too.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I didn't see any black people complaining about it. But
they said, "Oh, you put a black person in your game, so you added hip hop." And I'm like, "There's always been this relationship between Japanese traditional music and hip hop. Yeah, it's always been a thing." I'm like, "Why are you guys really trying to say you're act like that's racist?"
I like the parry mechanic in there. That looks really good. Looks really brutal. Like I said, like you said, I like the animations of her running on the walls and stuff like that. I think what sold me, and I was like, oh yeah, this is a day one cop. When she went to assassinate the dude and she hid in the pond and she pulled out the straw to breathe. I was like, yeah, all right, they trying different shit. I was like, yeah, this is cool. I was like, I'm gonna have to cop this one. And then also the fact that you can choose whoever you want to play. They said once you get to certain parts of the mission, so that adds replayability. Like if you want to play at least through twice. I wonder if it affects the story in any type of way. I'm curious about that because I saw I think there's dialogue options too. I noticed I'm watching the gameplay back. He has multiple stances. I'm noticing when he changes the weapons. That looks really cool. The story's got to be fire. As long as that's fire, look good to me. I'm playing it. To me, I just watched this shit. I'm like, you guys are just racist, man. Can we just? There's no way there's no way you can look at this gameplay and say this is the worst thing I've ever seen. You can say it's not for you. I'm cool with that. But there's no way you can look at that and be like, this shit looks horrible. Bro, at that point, I'm pulling your gamer card. Do you like games, dude? Do you? What'd you think, Jay?
Oh man, the grifters are out, bro. It's ridiculous. I'm super sold on this game after seeing the gameplay trailer, and it was literally we were sitting here speculating. I'm like, bro, y'all can be mad at this black man all you want, but I'm like, damn, just stop acting like Now Way isn't there. And literally what I said, I'm like, I'm sure that there will be a choice, whether you can, play with Yasuke and Now Way. And sure enough, as soon as Yasuke went through his section, and we saw that, which was fire, by the way. Forget the, you can be mad at the whole brute section, but when he pulled out the samurai sword and got to it, and then the whole I'm gonna slice off of your head part, that was fire. I don't see why anybody was in there and think that wasn't dope. That was a dope sequence there. But literally at that part, it was all right, well, do you want to storm through the front door of the castle, or do you want to do the stealth route? And it was all right, well, take your pick. I'm sure that there are some sections where you have to play as Yasuke. Okay, fine. If that's going to piss you off so much, then again, how do you think we've been feeling for decades? It's such a stupid argument that I just don't want to play as a black man just because he's black. And he's wearing samurai garb, but he's not a samurai. Just shut the fuck up. It's a freaking video game. So play as Now Way in any part that you can play as Now Way. And if you don't want to, then just don't play the game, man. It's as simple as that. But the game looked great. I think that they did a good job at showcasing this particular part of the video game, of the story. And like I said, I feel the same way that Ethos and TPH feel. I want to play more Now Way's part, because I thought that she had a super dope arsenal, and it was some very cool things that she could do compared to Yasuke, who's again just going to bust through the front door, and he's going to mess with stuff up, but it's a different way to play the game. So just choose however you want to play and pick whoever you want. But I think that this is going to be hopefully a huge dub for Ubisoft.
She was hanging off the ceiling like damn Spider-Man. Freaking
she knocked out the lantern. It was some cool things.
Some Splinter Cell type shit. Freaking there was a mechanic that some gameplay I've seen on Twitter where there are certain enemies that will deny her assassination, so she won't be able to fight as well. When you try to strike them, they'll just block that shit. I was like, okay, it's gonna add a certain level of strategy to it. I was like, there's attention to detail. It looks like this is gonna be more of a labor of love. They're actually trying with this one, and it's and my thing is what one of the arguments that I've seen a lot in the comments. Oh, it's not Ghost of Tsushima. What do y'all want? There's only so many ways you can make a ninja and a damn samurai. What do y'all want? Do you want it to be Naruto ninjas? What are we talking about here?
We literally just brought up Ghost of Tsushima and Tenchu. I feel like a lot of people just haven't played Tenchu at all, but don't forget about that. Tenchu was a great stealth game for the Shinobi. So like I said, a lot of elements do get taken from these other samurai games, and you can't act like Ghost of Tsushima was the only samurai game that has come out. Yeah, it's the most recent one that you all could think of, but it wasn't the only game that you can work off of. So yeah, there are going to be some similarities between Ghost of Tsushima and Assassin's Creed Shadow. So it is what it is. Just take it out how you will with that one.
Yeah, I might get the collector's edition for this joint. Let me get my statue game up.
Man, I want that helmet, dog. I ain't got no money.
$700. I'm good off of that.
Yeah,
I'm good off that. Overall, what would y'all rate the Ubisoft presser?
I mean, from what they had, I'd give them like a 6.
I said a 6 too. Yeah, it was hard carried by 2 games. There was nothing else to see. Still better than Summer Gamesfest somehow. Still better.
Yep. Oh, definitely.
What's the name? But yeah, that was the Ubisoft event. Right before Summer Gamefest had started, people were actually confused because they didn't know if PlayStation was going to do another event or if that was their Summer Gamesfest thing. But Sony had Sony State of the Play for May 2024. It was like the last day of May on the 30th, I believe. And they showed off some stuff. The general consensus from the internet is people weren't really happy. I'm curious to hear what y'all take on it. They announced one of the big games. They finally showed that Concord gameplay, which is a new hero shooter. Looked a lot like Destiny. God of War, Ragnarok, PC, no surprise. New Dynasty Warriors. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for Dynasty Warriors. I might get it. It's been a while since I played one. Infinity Dicky. Oh yeah. New I don't know what the fuck this game is, to be honest. They announced a bunch of games that are like for people who don't like Assassin's Creed, a lot of Japanese, Chinese style combat games. Where the Wind Meets. What's the other one? Is it Battle of Vantara or?
Battle of Vantara looked good to me.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't like this. They showed off Venom, Marvel Rivals, and they announced that it's coming to console with a closed beta. We like that. I like that at least. Silent Hill.
You said you didn't play Until Dawn, right?
I didn't play it.
Yeah, I didn't play Until Dawn either.
You know we got to stream that, right?
Yeah. We don't know.
TBH, you want a parsec?
No, I'm not making a deal with you. You got it. Why? Don't let this man bully you into playing games.
What are you talking about?
You got to cut business. You got to cut a deal. Be like, yeah, I'll play Until Dawn. You play Lies of P. Yeah.
But why?
Why would you? Lies of P is a great game. Why would you play it?
Unlike you, TBH, your mind is always competitive. You're always like trying to think it's got to be a us versus them thing. Me and JG played the Quarry. We had a fun time. All I'm saying is, hey, let's do another game from there. And we trying to bring you into it.
Can you blame me for thinking that way? They're always against the DEIs.
Your brain is cooked.
The DEIs, they're coming after us.
Your brain is cooked. You've been watching Ace's VODs for way too long, bro. Your brain is getting cooked, bro. You gotta
hold on. That's not even a fair argument, because the funny thing about the Ace shit is I've stayed out of that shit, bro. Y'all the ones that have been on Ace, bro. I just been laughing and instigating. I just been laughing. That's all. But I have not been on. Y'all bullied that man into streaming 6 fucking bosses. I don't want to hear that shit, bro.
That was JG and Siggy.
Them niggas was pulling up achievements. That was not me.
That was not me. That was JG and Siggy.
Don't throw my name in the hat. All right, guys.
There's a fair point. JG makes a fair point.
We just beat the Lightning Dragon, so we're gonna go beat Mog now. Like, just knocking things off the checklist. All sad.
That's really what it was, man. Checklist. All right.
This thing had co-op. If we get it, do you want to play? Because me and JG, we set up so like we had like 4 of us all playing. Do you want to play with us? We do a podcast.
I will.
Come on, man, for the content.
Yeah,
only one of us gotta play.
Oh yeah, for the content. I will play if you play Lies of P.
All right.
It's not happening, bro. I'm not playing that
scared
game.
of Nameless Puppet? What's going on?
Damn. No, because he's gonna say it's a Mickey Mouse. It got nerfed.
No, did he get nerfed?
Yes.
I
don't know. I had to look that up. I don't know if that's true or not.
I will eventually play Lies of P. I plan on getting through it after I get through Elden Ring. I first got to whoop you in that game first. Then I'll go back and play Lies of P.
How are you gonna whoop me in Elden Ring? It's not a competition, bro.
Oh, it is a competition. What are you talking about? It's always been a competition.
Yeah, I think the chat told me you said you were trying to beat it first.
Not even beat it first. I said whatever it's gonna take, no matter what.
I'm not, because I was gonna say I'm not. You could have that. Like, you win. I'm not trying to beat it first. I'm trying to enjoy it.
Oh no! I'm
going to be exploring. I'm like,
no.
He said he's putting you on a clock, man.
No, I'm putting you on a clock. We about to have a little Kendrick and Drake thing. You're gonna be on the clock when that shit drops. I'll give you a day. Because I know you like to explore. I'll give you a whole day's head start. I want to see how long it's gonna take you to beat certain boss. That was the argument. I said whatever the big boss is gonna be for this DLC, whatever is this Millennia 2.0. We gonna see if you have another 16-hour stream, because we gonna find out.
It does.
We know.
I can't be peer pressured.
What I will say is you will be spending another 8 to 10, maybe 12, 16 hours. And, unlike last time, we will have a stopwatch for you. You are not going to get away with it. You are not going to be able to manipulate your way out, try to change the time. We're going to be watching you this time. Everyone is going to be watching you with crucial eyes, especially Ace. Ace going to be on your ass. Ace is definitely going to be on your ass. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm going to see who takes longer, Ace or you. Now, if Ace don't record, if Ace don't live stream it, Ace auto loses. I'll be streaming it, so you already know. I got no fraudulent shit to show. I'm going to play it. You're going to see me play it, and I'm going to beat it. And I won't be grinding runes and shit. So that ain't going to be me. Matter of fact, I say it here. This is the GI announcement. If you use a weapon, Mickey Mouse gameplay.
This nigga said you gotta think to kill him.
With that hands.
If you ain't using hands, it's Mickey Mouse gameplay.
Y'all see what I gotta deal with? I'm not competing with anybody who uses mimic tier. I'm not. Y'all jumping niggas.
Okay.
Nope.
I'll make a challenge for you. You and me, TBH. Both of us will only use hands only. Martial arts. We won't use any weapons. No mimic tier the entire DLC.
Well, I think I said in the group chat I was probably gonna try the beast hand joint. Like, yeah, I'm gonna try. I want to try different weapons. I'm gonna try different weapons.
Okay, that's fair because I wanted to try the reverse sword. But if coincidentally one of those weapons we find out ends up being busted, we won't call each other Mickey Mouse over it. It just happens the way it happened.
I never. First of all, not Nomad, but Siggy's the only one that really be throwing out the only thing I said was Mickey Mouse was mimic.
Instigating that shit, but you
because it's fucking funny. It's funny. You have to understand. It's the thrill of it all. It's funny to me. I don't actually care. It's the fact that you niggas care. I don't care. All I know is we're not gonna have another court case where you gonna try to bend the rules and bend the timing. That's it. That's not gonna happen this time. All I can say is I think we'll agree to disagree. I think what we'll all can agree on is...
No, we're not going to agree to disagree.
No, we ain't agree to disagree.
See how he tries this, JG? You see how he be doing it?
No, we're not going to disagree.
We're not going to agree to disagree.
I think we all can agree on is we hope that Rivers of Blood gets nerfed to the ground. That's what we hope for.
I need to see what this new leveling system is going to be.
I would love to see
from the preview videos. People were saying literally when you get to the first like bonfire, it gives you the option to give you like a boost in like damage, and it scales to like the bosses or whatever. But you can choose not to take it, and it'll make it even harder. So that's what I was trying to figure out. Is Siggy going to argue that's Mickey for using the DLC mechanics? Yeah, we need to establish a line for that, whether or not that's Mickey. I personally don't care, but
I don't care.
Yeah, okay.
But Siggy will care. Siggy will not do it because he's going to be stubborn and he's going to call us Mickey Mouse after he slams his head against the wall for 40 hours. He'll say, "See, I did it without all this. You guys are Mickey Mouse."
Shit is crazy, bro. Shit is crazy.
It's all jokes for people that know.
Yeah,
we always joke about this shit.
Except
one.
Except the one that did.
We'll let you figure out which one. We'll let you figure out which one.
Freaking. Let's get back to the Sony State of the Play. This shit was so whack. Y'all ain't even talking about it. Was there anything in here that just really got you going? I was surprised people were hating on Concord so much. I didn't feel like it was that bad. It looked okay. I'll try it.
Yeah, I'll try it. I think people were just hating on it.
I was just disappointed because I was like, I get it. You have ex-Destiny devs who worked on it, but it clearly just looks like it's like, especially in the multiplayer, I'm like, oh, this looks so much like Destiny.
The way they were moving looked just like the Warlocks.
Yeah, it really did. Like even the moves, I'm like, oh man, like this isn't what I was expecting here, because this is supposed to be, your FPS that's going to compete with the likes of Call of Duty, because that's what Sony was crying about for years, right? With this whole Activision thing. And then they finally, it still goes through. They have Call of Duty, you don't. And then you have Bungie here who's still working on Destiny 2, but nobody's talking about Destiny 2 up against Call of Duty. So this was supposed to be it. But if you're giving us still another like Destiny like type of game, I'm just like, why? I don't understand the thought process here.
Do you think this game's going to end up like Battleborn?
It's a possibility. It's already got negative press. And the thing, too, that I feel like is new in the last 5 years is like when people don't like something, like it doesn't. And I think that's why they put that in that contract for Marvel Rivals. Like when people like shit on something, like games don't even get a fighting chance anymore. Yeah. And like this has already got a negative press. And I think it didn't help that not only it looks like Destiny, but then I think the vibe was like Guardians of the Galaxy. Like even
on top of that, they try to compare it to Overwatch. It's always, it's just Overwatch.
Yeah, those three.
It's another Overwatch.
There's a character in there.
Overwatch has a bad reputation.
We don't have Star-Lord. We have Star-Child. Like what?
I think I will say if they change the art style of it to be less Galaxy Pixar style looking, like if they had changed that and made it like less like Valorant looking and made it look more like Destiny looking, I think it would have got a better reception. Like if they made it like hard sci-fi, cool, like dudes in helmets, stuff like that. I feel like instead of it being like, look at our quirky characters with our quirky abilities and like instead of that, and they said made it more like we're badasses and like I feel like it would have been.
I don't know if I agree with that statement because another issue with it is I think the pacing of the game looks really slow and it contrasts the energy of their personalities. Like, we're badass. I disagree
with that. I so fucking disagree.
They're like, yo, we're so badass, and then they're moving all slow.
Thing. I don't agree. I do not. I don't. I think JG said too. I don't see this game as slow. It does not look slow.
I didn't see that either. No.
When I play Destiny 2 PvP, that shit does not seem slow. Valorant is slow to me. Valorant is a slow game.
That game doesn't even move. You just sit around in a corner.
That is a slow game. That is Rainbow Six Siege is a slower game. That does not. I don't perceive that game like that Destiny style. I don't perceive that as a slow. Like it's in the middle. It's not super Call of Duty, but it's like more fast paced than like a tactical shooter. I wouldn't say it's a tactical shooter. Especially you got all these abilities firing off and shit.
Well, here's the good thing about it. I looked it up. They announced it's gonna be $35 at launch. It's not a full price game, so it's not. Well, it's not a super high entry point.
Hold on, wait. It's not free to play.
When I looked it up on, was it Best Buy? Let me see, Concord price.
And it's not, it's only PvP?
I believe so.
Concord. And it's not made by Blizzard.
Yeah, it's $40 at launch, and then the deluxe edition is $60.
And yeah, it's cooked.
Oh, no, the fast pace is amazing.
That's not what I said. Hold on. That's not what I said. That is not, don't try to twist my words. That's not what I said.
Shit. Yeah, this is not free to play. It's going to be $40. I saw it might be for pre-orders. I saw on Best Buy it was like $35. It must have been like a deal or something, but this site's saying $40.
Yeah, shit. PvP, $40. PvP exclusively. Man, and you're not Blizzard? Yeah, you might be cooked. I'm not gonna lie.
This is one of those games I think its success is going to be determined on where they release
that beta test. It's that beta test.
And the beta test and where they release it. They got to look at the calendar and it's like, do we need to be honest with ourselves? Do we need to get out of the way for this game? Because I be feeling like a lot of games fuck themselves over by doing that shit.
Comes out on August 23rd.
Yeah, that's I mean,
Wukong, Star Wars. It's in between the two. Yeah, that might be DOA.
This game gonna get lost. It's gonna get lost, man.
I didn't know it was coming out in August.
Yeah,
that's literally between Wukong and Star Wars. It's gonna get lost.
I don't want a game to fail, but there's the signs are there, man.
I feel like September would be a better month. The only thing I remember coming out in September is Warhammer.
Yeah,
it's like just move it over a few weeks to give it a better chance. But
we had some. We actually have a pretty decent stack of games coming out. Like, actually, I'm very surprised that like the middle of the summer and going towards the end of the summer has some like pretty decent games we want to play. Yeah, it's usually not like that. It's usually really quiet. So
to be fair, we've been asking about it for years. Like, yo, summer is always free for games. We getting Flintlock, we getting Wukong, we getting Star Wars. Like, finally, it's happening. Year-round gamers. Too bad most of you niggas don't buy games, but you know, I just be talking. Other stuff from State of the Play. Man, I miss Marvel Rivals, man. I'm ready for that shit to come back, man. I like that game. Venom looked cool too in the trailer. I liked it.
That's a division.
Glad they did they say whether or not it's gonna be crossplay?
I believe so.
What you huffing and puffing for? What's the name? Overall, what would y'all rate the State of the Play? What would y'all rate it?
6.
It was underwhelming. Yeah, I give him like a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I feel like people went a little too hard on them. I'd give it a 6 too. Like, I saw things that I liked. There was nothing that I was like gung ho about, but I saw things I was like, I'll try it depending on when it comes out.
And Path of Exile 2 looked good too.
Oh, I forgot about Astroworld. I like that game. You know, fuck y'all. I know a lot of people were mad about that shit. Somebody in the chat was like, yeah, Ethos said you liked that game. And I said, fuck him.
I said it's a TBH ass game right here.
Exactly. I love me some platformers, bro. That shit look good. Y'all. But I think they spent too much time on it, but it did look good. I think that's the real reason.
You and Ace, man.
Yeah, y'all two got that, man. That's all you.
Yeah, y'all didn't come from this.
You're racing in your little Astro controllers.
Y'all don't understand Jack and Dexter. Y'all don't really come from that legacy. It's cool. Y'all like Uncharted and
Bullshit.
Y'all like them realistic fucking Hollywood Oscar bait ass games, bro. Like trying to have an adventure. One of the reasons why sales on PlayStation 5 games are bad, well, I don't want to say bad, but for some games, apparently a lot of people are still on PS4. Half of PlayStation players still haven't upgraded to PS5. According to Sony's PlayStation Network, it has 118 million active users as of March 31st, 2024. And they point out only 59 million of them are on PS5. So basically half are still on the 4. Why do you guys think that is? What's going on?
Lord, this nigga just leaked his credit card information on Twitter.
Who?
I just got a notification with literally somebody's credit card. What the hell?
Oh, okay. Freaking.
So anyway, speaking of money, because that person's not going to have any money.
No, he tipped in. Don't worry about him.
It must have been his PlayStation account that got hacked.
He quote tweeted some woman and just gave his entire credit card and said, "I don't care. Buy whatever you want."
Yuck.
Oh, okay.
Never mind.
But yeah, I think niggas are still broke, man. You know, everybody talking about they got some money, still can't get a PS5. They're out there. Like I said, we've said it multiple times. There's no reason why you can't get a PS5 now. Why you still on the PS4? Like you still want yourself to sound like a jet engine when you're trying to play these games. Like and there are games that you're missing. It's not that many, but there's still some games that you can't play on the PS4. So you're missing out. So maybe this further goes into the reason why PS5 players aren't playing their exclusives, because they're still on the PS4.
They don't have the 5 to even get the
you
games.
can't even play it.
That's fucking funny.
You know what? We found it out, P-Mate. There it is.
You fucking frauds. You be in Twitter spaces, yo. Fucking, I was going to say, so it does add more context to the conversation of why a lot of people, whenever I'm streaming, I swear to God, I'll be reading articles and there's always 1 or 2 people in the comments, but yeah, is this game coming to PS4? It adds more context to why you see that, because a lot of y'all still are on the PS4, but I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to say, like, you can't make the argument that they're all just broke. Like some people, I've seen a lot of people say they haven't upgraded to the 5 because they don't see a reason. And my counter argument to that is, well, the reason you don't see a reason is because you're on the PS4. As long as a lot of you guys are still on the PS4, that means the baseline for game development is the PS4. We will never see the power of the Xbox Series X and the PS5 be pushed because you guys refuse to upgrade. That's how technology works. They have to make games for a 11-year-old computer, which is a fucking dinosaur. So like, I think that it's a vicious cycle. It's like they don't see. I don't see a reason, which is weird because y'all argued that Spider-Man 2 is game of the year, even though y'all didn't play any of the other games. Like I thought there was a reason. It's just a vicious cycle. I don't know. What do you think the solution is, Ethos? How do we get these niggas off the 4?
Get PCs.
Okay. It's time to build one.
Time to get a PC, man. Let it go. Call that bankruptcy. And you know what they say? If you sell your PS4 to GameStop, you're basically filing for bankruptcy.
Hood bankruptcy.
Sounds like something I need. Yeah.
Well, at this point, the 4 is not
$5.
The hood bankruptcy is not the 4 anymore. It's the 5. If you trading in a 4, what are you getting for that?
That's what I'm saying. You're truly bankrupt. You probably, I don't know, you're probably getting like $40.
I don't think you would even get that much. They give you like a 20 at best, and that's
it's a retro console now. It's gonna be worth some money in the
future. That was a racial slur. Don't let the PS4 niggas hear that.
Retro.
What? It's a retro console.
It is technically 10 years is retro, but they don't understand that though. What they put 2K
that
on
shit
it
came out in 2014. It is a decade-old machine.
13.
Even
it's 11 years old.
Yeah, over a decade. Yeah, it's over a decade long. Old, yeah. That shit's cooked, man.
That is the reason. If you guys want to see better games, because like I feel like one of the things people don't understand is like they look at it from like a graphical standpoint. I don't see a reason, but like pushing hardware is also about like improved AI. Animations. You're not going to get that in your games, plus like the textures, if you guys don't get off the 4. But I will say also what doesn't help is that Xbox Series S too, because there's an article that came out, just so you guys are aware, Wukong will not be launching on the Xbox Series S, only on the X and the PS5 and PC. And they said the reason is because they're having issues optimizing it. It doesn't mean it's not going to come, but there's also no guarantee it will come to the Xbox Series S. So like, it seems like developers are struggling with that. And then like the PS4, I feel like going forward, like for the PS6 and whatever the new Xbox is, if they want to do a cheaper option, they should cut corners with like the hard drive size or something like that. And where you can shave off maybe $50. But other than that, like niggas got to accept gaming is not a poor man's hobby. If you can't afford it, sorry, But you can't also complain that things aren't improving. It's like a catch-22. It doesn't make any sense to me, man.
I can't throw them any more bail. Like, okay, 2020, especially, during the pandemic, it was very tough. And, we definitely talked about that before. We were like, damn, like, there's really no reason to own the PS5. And it's still like not that big of a reason, but it's 4 years past. You can walk into your local Best Buy, Walmart, or Target and pick up a PS5 now. So that's no longer an excuse. Like, how long is it going to take you to finally be like, hey, I gotta, it's finally time to upgrade? Like, so I don't really see too much of an excuse to like, hey, the graphical leap isn't too much now. Now you're literally getting cut out of video games that aren't getting made for the PS4. And I think that they need to continue to do that. Don't even try to make these games that are graphically and performance-wise better that can't run on the PS4. Don't even try to develop them for it anymore. Just let them find out for themselves. And, if your sales suffer a little bit, so be it. But make them get on the PS5, but don't directly make them do it. Just, subtly, just steadily, just do it. And eventually they'll finally figure it out once it's that one IP that they just have to play. Just make them buy it.
The thing is, I don't think they will do it just because game development is so pricey. That's the other catch too. Like, they got to make their money back. So they have to make these PS4 versions and Xbox Series S versions to, get it on as many platforms as possible. So I think like it's such a vicious cycle. But I will say, for like the people who can't afford the 5 now, like, we're on the verge. We're knocking on the door of the PS5 Pro. And there's already rumors of the PS6 with AI capabilities and stuff. I do feel like as an adult, you have to take a step back and you have to say, like, look, man, if this shit has been out for like 5 years and I still can't afford it, what am I doing? Like, in terms of priorities, like, I get inflation is through the roof, rent is through the roof. And if you're at a point where you just don't have it, it's totally understandable. I was at that point in my life too. But you also have to ask yourself, should you have like a crazy say in what's going on in the next gen? Like, it's like y'all gotta fall back, man. Y'all gotta fall back. Like, just stick to your 4, play your Roblox, the O-Block server. They got a new Ice Spice server. I don't know if y'all saw.
What the fuck, bro? What is that? What is it that? Do you
think I'm playing? I'll bring it up on the video.
How do you know this Ice Spice server?
Because I follow a lot of different websites and what's the name? Like, it came up, so I brought it up as a joke just to talk about it on stream. But yeah, they got an Ice Spice server on Roblox. Basically, you get to dress up a character and then you get to walk around a fake Bronx, and it's like the O-Block server. They're playing Ice Spice's music.
Hell no.
It's called Munchland. Like, you think I'm playing? It's called Munchland. Here, I'm about to
that's torture, bro. Why would anybody?
I think it's them trying to relate to like the younger audience. It's like an album rollout because her album's coming out Y2K or whatever.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But you think I'm playing? It's called Munchland by Ice Spice. You get to walk around and do your thing, bro. Do your thing.
Oh my god, I don't know anything about Roblox. I don't want no person.
And then like on the wall, she's like twerking and playing music and shit. Like, if you just want to be a little fake ass ratchet nigga,
But to finally end this argument, I think this also played, like, we're making jokes, but this is true. Like, I think the reason why people, a lot of Sony fans aren't playing PS5 exclusively because they're still on the PS4. But this also lends credence to, if you can't play PS5 games that aren't made on the PS4, this also lends credence to why they're playing the same games. So
yeah. It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, you're still playing Grand Theft Auto, you're still playing Roblox because it literally is the only thing that you can play. If you only own a PS4, you can't afford a PS5, you don't have a PC, you don't have any other consoles, what else are you going to do? Like, there's only a certain amount of game that you will be able to play if they decide to also make it for the PS4. So, you know what? This is bringing more things into perspective, this article, actually. This is bringing a lot more things into perspective for me.
I don't remember the last time I saw my PS4. It's somewhere in the closet.
I found it yesterday. It was in my basement in a box, dusty. I think a spider lives in it.
Like a retro console should be. We're gonna be on the PS6, man. Is it coming to the PS4? Oh my god! I just don't see a reason to upgrade, bro. I don't see a reason. Yeah, get out there, stack your chips, man. Then come back to the game when you're ready. During the Summer Gamesfest, it was during the Xbox, they revealed Dragon Age Veilguard, which is the follow-up to Inquisition from BioWare. And then like a day later, they released a whole 20-minute gameplay demo. And I'm not going to lie, this definitely separated the internet. Like, a lot of people liked it, but a lot of people did not like it. People were saying, and I think the reason is it looks like it's more streamlined compared to Inquisition, more level based with a little bit of exploration versus Inquisition was much more open world. And it seems more cutscene, like narrative driven and an action game. So it's the polar opposite of Inquisition, basically. Me personally, I like what I saw. I'm sick and tired of everything being an open world game. I'm ready for linear games to come back. As long as my decisions matter, I'm cool. And also, I like the action in it. There's a weapon wheel in it, kind of similar to Mass Effect. I read an article. They said it'll play similar to Andromeda, where you'll be able to have 3 abilities at once, and you can swap out like different kits and stuff like that. And then you'll be able to like combine abilities with like teammates and stuff like that. With different classes. I thought it looked fun. I know you're a big Dragon Age fan. What are you thinking, Ethos?
I liked it. I agree with you. I like the combat. I thought the environment art was phenomenal. I'm not a stickler against the art style, a little bit changed. And I think for people that try to act like that, this art style's terrible and they should just use what was used before. I think a lot of those people are kind of being disingenuous because I was going back and recalling a lot of like Dragon Age's history. And I recalled how throughout the history of Dragon Age, it has constantly changed.
I'm going to say that all the games are very different.
They look different. Yeah. The first game had this more dark, like kind of what you expect from that like era of like RPGs look. Like it was more darker, like kind of realistic looking character model type game for that time. Then the second game went way stylized. It went like extremely left turn action based, kind of like what Mass Effect did from 1 to 2. This one though changed its art style completely. And I remember that game also got flack for that because I remember when they changed the art style so much, that was actually a piece of contention. I remember back in the day in 2010 or 2010, I think it came out, where people were like not into buying this game because they were like, this doesn't look like Dragon Age 1 at all. And it's a different character and The same complaints we hear now remind me so much of what happened with Dragon Age 2. And then Inquisition happened, again, changed the art style again. And then that game plays different from 2. That game feels more like an MMO.
Single player
like MMORPG. Yeah, it feels like, I remember me and Black were talking about that like years ago, how it felt like somebody made an MMORPG, but like made it single player exclusively. And now this game seems like it's once again the cycle's continuing. Now this game is going to be. I agree with you. It seems like it's taking a lot of nods from like OG Mass Effect, like more linear type of mission structure, kind of like Mass Effect the original trilogy was. Moving away from.
I'm getting Mass Effect 2 vibes.
I am too. I'm also getting Mass Effect 2 vibes. Now, the thing I hate is. I'm just so tired of this. I'm tired of people jumping the gun. I'm tired of people just seeing a reveal trailer.
What did I say?
Not seeing gameplay yet, and just boom, 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 boom. This shit's trash. This shit's trash. This art style looks terrible. This is the tone of the game, and I get the idea. Yeah, and I get the idea of first impressions. I get that, but we've been around this block so many fucking times that it's like, dog, can we just wait until we see some gameplay, or wait until we get some more details before we just like kind of a little Concord, right? Before we just shit on it and say it's trash, it's going to be ass and that like that. Like I saw so many people who just saw the reveal trailer said, is this some sort of Avengers shit? And I was sitting there like, did y'all play Inquisition? Like that's literally Inquisition. Inquisition is literally you grabbing basically your Avengers and going to stop the bad guy. That's literally the entire plot point of Inquisition. And this game is just like, oh, we're showing these different characters and stuff like that. They had Marilyn Monroe for the marketing of the first Dragon Age. They used a song from Marilyn Monroe, which is insane for their marketing. I just think people are yeah, I think so.
I thought maybe it was just like a video vixen.
No, not Marilyn Monroe. I'm thinking of
that's the one that fucked JFK. Yeah, what are you talking about?
No, the one that oh my god, did some really disgusting shit. Monroe, what's his name?
Greg Monroe?
No, the one that Kanye brought up. The one that Kanye brought up.
Marilyn Manson?
Manson, thank you. I'm thinking of Marilyn Manson, not Monroe. I don't know why I said Monroe. Manson. I'm thinking of Manson.
That's very different.
Yeah, that's a complete
opposite.
I'm tired, bro. We recorded this shit late. But yeah, they used like one of his songs for the original Dragon Age's marketing. It's actually insane the marketing that they've tried to do for Dragon Age. I don't know. It looked cool to me. I think people are just being OD about it. And I even saw it in real time when they started to have like Discord Q&As and more details were coming out. And I saw people doing the whole tweet threads where they were like, boom, 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 boom. Here's all the stuff that's going to be in Dragon Age. It sounds lit. All the stuff that they listed is cool. I think the only thing I was like, that kind of sucks is they got rid of the 4th person. So there's only like 2 people on a squad, just like Mass Effect. I was like, that kind of sucks. But that's not something that breaks the game for me, that I'm not going to play it. Everything else looks really cool. So like I'm on board of seeing more of this game.
Yeah, me and Siggy were talking about it the other day. Like, I feel like grifters has been a thing in politics for a while, but it seems like they're infiltrating everything now, and even gaming now, where it's just like, I feel like it started like the early signs of it was kind of like the angry gamer archetype, but even with those people, like video game nerd and like Angry Joe, it was like they were still fair for the most part. Like, it's just when they didn't dislike something, they really kind of hammed it up and they played the character, which was cool. It made it like entertaining. But now it's just like, fuck everything, bruh. Fuck everything. And I'm just like, do y'all like anything? Well, we know y'all don't like anything because 60% of y'all don't buy no games.
They don't like it.
What did you think of the reveal of Veilguard, Jay?
No, I liked it. I liked the gameplay trailer. I remember like when we were seeing like early footage, and you remember when people were mad about that too. Ethos, they were like, "What the fuck is this?" Like, and I keep telling you, I'm like, it shouldn't have leaked in the first place, but it did. We saw some early gameplay, but again, it's a super early alpha stuff, so I like can't get mad at that. And now we got the official reveal, and they showed the 20-minute gameplay trailer. I liked it. I'm not a Dragon Age fan by any means. I tried playing a little bit of Inquisition, and it just really wasn't for me. So I put it down early. But I think this one, like, I actually might give it a legit shot. Like, it looked cool to me, and this is again coming from a person on the outside looking in. Like, I like it. So any of the like nitpicks that people might have had between Dragon Age, the very first Dragon Age, Inquisition, to now Veilguard, it doesn't bother me. I don't care either way. Like, if I see a game looks good, I like it, I'm going to try it out. And it should be really as simple as that, instead of just nitpicking and bitching about every single thing.
It's gonna have transmog in it, so you don't have to sacrifice the drip for the stats.
Love the transmogging. Gotta have that in any MMO.
I heard the Inquisitors coming back too. The guy that you play, they're gonna you can import them, or not import them, but you basically can whatever you did in that game, you can bring it into this new game.
Yeah, if you didn't make any decisions, it'll let you make decisions at the beginning of the game. I read online.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I think that's cool to welcome people in. It's something new. Keep an open mind, and if it's bad, we'll let you know it. But this genre of just everything is ass before the.
Yeah, we'll be back here and just be like, didn't enjoy it as much.
Yep. On the opposite end of the spectrum, this community, I fucking hate them. Dragonball Sparking Zero.
Oh my god.
Let's talk about this and let's get something straight. I didn't say I hate the game. I said I hate the community. Y'all niggas are annoying to me. You can't say nothing about this game. This game's the greatest game of the year. It's gonna change the world. How you feeling about this one, Jay? They showed off some gameplay, new game modes. I think the thing that stood out to me the most was you'll be able to pick things to say in the story, and it'll change the story based off of that. So they have kind of like a what if mode, and then you'll be able to create your own storylines, and they hinted that you'll be able to share it with friends. I thought that was pretty cool. How you feeling about Sparking Zero, Jay?
We already did that, right? Like, we already went through the what ifs. Like, again, we're just rewriting the story. Just like, all right, well, we're gonna tell the same story for the millionth time, but we're gonna have another what if. Like, what if Goku went by himself instead of it's. I was like, bro, we're giving choices again. Like, I'm not that doesn't move me. I feel like these are the super duper hardcore Dragon Ball Z fans that no matter what they come out with, whatever Bandai Namco comes out with, you're going to just pick it up. And once we heard the real inside scoop about why there's a new Dragon Ball Z game or anything in that universe that comes out, in these cadences, this really makes sense as to why there's little to no thought in a lot of these Dragon Ball Z games that'll come out. It was cool in the very beginning, but it's just really played out at this point. I get it. Everybody wants the nostalgia of Tenkaichi. Everybody freaking loves Tenkaichi to the death. But these small features, which again, people are hyping up as big features, do not make sense to me. They do not move me by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, what if scenarios? We already did that. Making up special cutscenes in while you're going through the match. People were hyping it up too, and I'm just like, is this really what we've been reduced to? Make your own Dragon Ball Z story, because we've already been through the same story. We've already seen the same story. I feel like at this point, you probably shouldn't even have to watch the anime at this point. You could just play the damn video games and you'll figure out, for the most part, what's going on in these stories from each arc. Like, because we played them a million different times. So like I say, it doesn't do anything for me. Y'all can have y'all fun. Don't take what I say to heart, because no matter what I say, if I give any side of a criticism, y'all gonna play it anyway. So just have fun, do what you do, have your nostalgia if it's that. But I remember when it first got announced, I was like, man, I don't know why y'all so damn excited about it. Tenkaichi was cool, but it wasn't like, oh my god, I just have to have this type of style of Dragon Ball game back. It didn't really move me like that. So it is what it is.
I'm in the middle. The more I see of it, I'm like, okay, that looks cool. That looks all right. But like I said the other day on my stream, I want to wait for the reviews to come out. Like right now, for me, this game is in the bracket of, if there's nothing else around the time it releases, it's definitely a day one cop. But if something else I really want to play comes out around the same time, like, I don't know, like Dragon Age, like I'm going to play Dragon Age over this. So it really depends. I haven't seen anything that blows me away, but it looks cool. I don't know.
Comes out October 11th.
What else comes out in October around that time? I don't know.
Let's see.
I gotta look at the calendar. It's cool. I don't know what to say. Like I just said it looked all right in the whole comment section. You've been hating, bro. Every content creator said this shit is fire. You mean the same anime content creators that gas up every arena fighter, and y'all all complain about how they're ass? Like, this one definitely sounds better. This one definitely does look better. I will say that much. It definitely does, especially the art style. But I just haven't seen anything that's like blowing me away. I think it's more like nostalgia. And as long as you're cool with that, you're probably gonna have a good time. But like, I'm seeing people on Twitter saying game of the year. I'm like, bruh, Shadow of the Air Tree is coming out. What are you talking about, bro?
No, they not.
I swear to God, I saw that, bro. No, I think it was Maximilian. He posted a clip of Fatal Fury and he was hyping that, which, by the way, that shit looks fire. He was hyping that joint up and he was like, bro, the counter mechanic you can do in the air. He's like, this is fire. Several people were under the comments, who gives a fuck? Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is coming out. And one of them literally said, Sparking Zero will be game of the year. And it had like fucking 50 likes, bro. Like, you think I'm playing? There are people out there that genuinely feel like, and this is an agenda I've been pushing for a while. It's not the game that I dislike. It looks okay to me. The anime fighting game community is fucking annoying to me. You niggas are at the bottom of the barrel. You're right on par with 2K and Madden and Call of Duty niggas. The only difference is you play anime games, but y'all play shitty games for the most part. So like, I get it. This one looks a little bit more better. And you guys are excited, and I'm hoping for the best. I just don't see what here is game of the year. Like, what are we talking about, bro?
So before we get Ethos' opinion, let me go over October for you. So, in the beginning of October, ain't really nothing, but Dragon Ball's Sparking Zero comes out, and then literally the day, actually the same day, the Metaphor Refantasio game comes out. That's the Atlas game.
The Atlas game.
So again, if you're into that, you got to compete with that, and the fan, they already got on
I would get Dragon Ball. I would get Dragon Ball over that.
So you can play that. You can play it for a week.
I would get Dragon Ball.
And then a couple more weeks, then Black Ops comes out on the 25th. So it's something. And then Life is Strange comes out on the 29th. So that's really October.
It's coming out at the right time. It's okay. It's a day one cop for me then.
It has a little window. Yes, it does have a window.
Yeah. Okay. How you've been sitting there real quiet and nefarious looking. I would say Ethos. How you feeling about Sparking Zero? You're muted.
I got nothing.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna say nothing.
You say you don't want to get fried by this community?
Yeah.
Look. I learned from Persona. You talking about a community that sounds just like how the Persona community acts? Nope. I got nothing. I'm not saying nothing. They got it. But if it's their game of the year, it's their game of the year. Let them have it. Let them live it.
I don't care. I was saying, what makes the game of the year argument funny? Like, well, hold up. Game of the year. Fighting games notoriously have had issues winning awards at award shows. If Street Fighter and Tekken ain't winning game of the year, you think Dragon Ball Sparking Zero? You niggas are next level delusional.
Nominated. Like, those fighting games don't even get nominated, bro.
That shit is funny to me.
Ain't no way. They're in their bubble, clearly, and they can have it. Like, I think I agree with Ethos here. Like, if you think it's your game of the year, more power to you.
Got it.
lasers. It looks alright. I like that. Well, based on what I've seen, I see a 7 out of 10. I could be wrong, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping it's better than what I thought it would be. What else I got for y'all? I threw this on the notes. I know Ethos doesn't care. I want to see if you care. Do you care about college football, JG? Because they showed some gameplay.
Previews look nice, and this definitely has the potential to be better than Madden. I've always I prefer the college football games. I've always enjoyed those a little bit more than Madden. So I don't know if I'll get back into it, but I mean I may try it out. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Should be able to get it for free because we EA, ain't we?
Yeah, it's true. I could probably request a code and just get it. So yeah, I think it's worth trying out. But I'm glad that after all these years, it finally came back and figured out. I don't even know if I want to call them respectable deals, but some type of deal with the actual college players. And who's excited out of all of us in GI? The person who actually played.
I'm not gonna lie. It doesn't look bad to me. Like visually, it looks better than Madden. And I like the little mechanics with the crowd control and stuff like that. I don't know if it's it makes me want to pay $70. If I get it for free, I'll play it. But I'm not gonna lie, it does look better than Madden. And I think what excites me most about this is I really hope they have legacy teams in this because I want to be able to play as Ace. I want to play. What year was it? The 2010 Syracuse.
Syracuse. Yeah, we had to ask.
Yeah. What number are you, Ace? I'm gonna throw the ball to you.
Better turn that into a video.
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, I think that'd be fire. But it look all right. I know the community, they seem pretty excited about it. So I want
to play the mascot mode. It's weird what they were doing. I mean, I get it. They have the bundle with college football and Madden. But I was it's interesting. I'll say that.
Yeah, freaking. Here's an interesting one. Apparently, rumors have surfaced that Monolith, the creator of Shadow of Mordor and Shadow of War, also the famous Nemesis system, they're working on a Wonder Woman game. And according to Greg Miller from Kinda Funny Games, that Wonder Woman game is in trouble. He brought it up in a podcast at the 42-minute mark. I played it on stream, and he was saying he has some inside sources that say that it's in development hell. And then I was like, I talked about it on stream, and I was like, take it with a grain of salt. I mean, Greg, he's an insider. Always would take it with a grain of salt till we hear from the horse's mouth. And then a day later, WB Games posted some job listings for Monolith. They're looking for a lead developer on this game. I was like, oh my God. Didn't they announce this shit 3-4 years ago? And you're looking for a lead developer? So I think, I said, take it with a grain of salt, but I think it's true what Greg is saying. I don't know if this game is coming out, man. Apparently it's not looking too hot, man. What's going on? Why do you think they might have some issues with Wonder Woman, Mr. Developer Ethos?
I don't know. We haven't seen anything, so I don't know if it's they can't figure out how to make it work, or if there's some technical issues about why they can't get it to work, or if maybe they just lost vision and direction. Maybe who was in charge of keeping the vision of the game just didn't do their job well enough. It could be any of those, or it could be Wonder Bros. We saw with Suicide Squad. We've seen with a bunch of these games that after Hogwarts, it seems like they came in with a lot of other games and they've been inserting that, you gotta do this. It makes me wonder, did Monolith originally have a vision and then WB executives came in and said, no, make it like this, or make it more like this, or do this and that, or make it live service. And then maybe they're we don't know how to make that type of game. That's all I can think of as a possibility.
Yeah, I feel like they might struggle too with how to separate it from Shadow of Mordor, or even Batman Arkham, because she pretty much just throws hands. I mean, she got her sword and shield, so they might be having trouble trying to figure out what mechanics make it different. But also, yeah, like you said, them trying to turn it into a live service game. Either way, I'm disappointed because I thought maybe this was going to be shown at the Summer Gamesfest. I feel like I've been waiting for this game for the last 2 summers to be shown, and not only did we get nothing, I don't think we're going to get anything soon, or if at all, based off that damn job listing. What you think, Jay?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with Ethos. I think especially after the Suicide Squad situation, I think that WB is trying their best to be extremely cautious. There probably were some hands in play as far as the execs were concerned that they probably did interfere with what Monolith wanted to do. And probably whoever was the previous lead developer, you know what, I'm not having it. I don't want to make the game how you want me to make the game, and probably dipped out. And so they're oh, now we need somebody else to lead us. So I just want Monolith to make something. I'm really, at this point, I'm very annoyed that they trademarked the whole Nemesis system, because I just want to see another game from them come out that has this Nemesis system. Like, I just want to see it be used again, because Shadow Mordor and Shadow War outside of the final mission was great. So I just want to see something else to come from that. I don't give a fuck if it's Wonder Woman, like any DC IP, just something like another shadow of something. Just bring something else out. Like, I hope that they can eventually just bring out something else. Like, it's almost like as annoying as the whole Rocksteady situation at this point. And, you know, people leaving, the OGs leaving. So, and now we have lead developer for this game leaving, and now they're looking for somebody else. So it's a whole mess at WB right now. Like, and I'm just like, as far as WB as a whole, like, they're taking a lot of L's and they lost a lot of money. So hopefully they can find a way to bounce back. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm just gonna say the execs, like, whether at the game division or the movie division, Max, whatever, like, whoever is leading these divisions, I'm about to start questioning, like, your ability to lead, because, like, these decisions y'all are making have been pretty terrible over the last, like, 5 or so years.
Yeah, man. I hope it still comes out, man. I want it to happen. I wanted to see what they could do because I like the character, but I'm not gonna hold my breath after what happened with Suicide Squad. Which, by the way, I don't know if y'all saw the article, but they announced that we are not going to Anthem the game and shut it down like after a year. They said we're sticking this one out. We're gonna keep dropping that content to our 100 players. So those out there still fighting the good fight out there in Suicide Squad, you guys have at least another year worth of content. I think they should take it back out back and shoot it, but you know, they want to waste their money on it, whatever, on them damn servers. Here's some interesting conversations I think we can get into. Let me ask you a question, Ethos and JG. You guys play multiplayer games, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, when you're not playing with the boys, when you're not playing with your friends in GI or maybe some of your other friends, you just, you know, running a solo match by yourself and you play with randoms. Do you feel like lately it's been kind of hard to get a win because your teammates are just fucking stupid?
Yeah. I think that whole, like, the randoms, like, that is a thing.
Yeah, randoms. We all hate them. Well, there was a study conducted by Quantum Foundry that basically reported and explained that we felt it, right? We felt it, but there's actual data suggesting that gamers as a whole are getting stupid. And in this study, they found that gamers have become less interested.
Stop. You're Googling this. No, bro, every time we do this, you're searching for these articles, bro.
I swear,
some academic journals for these fucking.
I swear to God, may he strike me down. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I have a bunch of websites that I follow on Twitter. I have a specific tab. Every morning when I wake up, I spend the first hour of my day after I brush my teeth and wash my face. I just scroll and look for things to talk about on stream and for this podcast. I am not going out of my way to look for this stuff. I have not. That being said, this article published on May 21st, Quantic Foundry said gamers have become less interested in strategic thinking and playing. So if you feel like randoms are stupid, it's because it's not a feeling. They are, and we got the data to back it. Let's talk about it. So there's some interesting things in here. It says that the decline of intelligence in gamers was happening before COVID, so you can't blame it on that and like people being sad and shit. They said the stupidity is identical between men and women, so you can't blame genders. Don't get into that bullshit. And then they also said it has nothing to do with Americans, whether you're from overseas or you're American. We're all stupid. The numbers are all dropping. And if you look at the charts, it's just steadily declining from 20, and it's a steep dip, right? So then they said, well, why has there been a decline over time? There's been many seemingly related findings in terms of our media consumption habits. For example, over time, shorter YouTube videos have generated a higher share of overall views. The duration of shots in movies, meaning like, you know, the jump cuts and shit like that, has decreased from 16 seconds in 1930 to 4 seconds. In YouTube terms, they refer to that as retention editing, where like if you've seen videos like on YouTube or TikTok where it's like do like something's constantly popping up, that's retention editing. It's affecting films. The average time spent on the computer app has decreased from 2.5 minutes in 2004 to 47 seconds in 2016. In this light, the decline of strategy is likely not idiosyncratic phenomenon among digital gamers, but parallels the general reduction in attention spans observed by researchers in different fields. Basically, technology is fucking everybody over. If you got kids, limit the time they're in front of the TV, in front of the phones, because it's not a joke. Like literally, and like it makes sense because I feel like we'd be playing shooters and it just be like simple shit. Like you don't need to be Admiral Thrawn, okay? You don't need to be some brilliant military tactician. You be playing games and I'm like, yo, can somebody fucking flank? Why is everybody running through the door at once? Niggas be running uphill when, Anakin, I have the high ground. You should know you're going to lose. You should flank somewhere, bro. People are not thinking, apparently. This is a real thing. JG, you're a parent. What can we do to raise the cognitive intelligence of everybody? What can we do?
And put the phones down and read some books. How about we start there? Tell your kids to go outside. If you have your children or even yourself, like if you give them technology and then try to give them more educational things and try to teach them more about life, because I mean, we're talking about video games in this particular study, but all of that comes back to how your overall brain processes. So if you're getting dumb things fed to you in your brain, you're not feeding your brain what it actually needs in order to be, quote unquote, a smarter individual, then yeah, it's also going to translate to when you're playing video games. So yeah, you're not going to think about what the best strategy is. Like in your example, TBH, if you see somebody who's at the front door in a small corridor and there are 5 or 6 people running through the same corridor, who do you think is going to win if you're just giving a straight line for somebody to shoot? How about you try one person or 2 people try going around so that you can catch the person by surprise instead of just running basically into your death, multiple times. We have seen this, or random zoo do this a lot because they're like, hey, I died. The only thing I'm thinking about is trying to get to where this person is to kill them, and you're running into their trap, every single time. So it is a great example of, what we see people do in these video games. And that's why we're like, man, let's get some competent people, get your friends, are halfway decent at video games who can think, it does take a little bit of brain power to play some of these multiplayer games or even single player games at times. So I think that, we can start there and stop feeding your brain, mindless content that literally does nothing for your brain and for your overall just mental health. And maybe that will translate to you being a little bit smarter when you're playing these video games.
I'll add on to something to that. I can make the argument all these microtransactions is sedating people as well too. We used to get on the game and the sense of satisfaction was winning, or at least having a good game, like a close game or whatever. We've gotten to the point where it's like, who gives a fuck about winning? I just got a new Ninja Turtle skin. Ethos, you're guilty of this. Didn't you and Siggy buy all them damn Ninja Turtle skins in fucking Fortnite?
No, I might know Ninja Turtle skin. That was Chaos.
Okay.
That would be.
That wasn't me.
Who cares about winning? Who cares about getting good? I got a new Goku skin. Like, I feel like that shit like just fucks it. Like, they're just so focused on that. That gives them the instant gratification. And I mean, you can apply that to a lot of things in life, the whole instant gratification thing. Who gives a fuck about winning and playing the game anymore? Like, I look cool. What about you, Ethos? What you think?
Yeah, people don't like the edge anymore, man.
You're done. You're fucking done. We're trying to have a serious conversation about people's brains being far.
I'm sorry, it was there. I had to do it, bro. You gave me the ball. I had to do it. I don't know. People are stupid, but I blame George Bush.
No man, no child left behind. You saying they got left behind?
Yeah, they got left behind. I don't think it's just necessarily gaming. I just think society as a whole has gotten dumber and dumber because of technology. I'm terrified. I was saying to a friend earlier, I can't fathom it back then when I was a kid or I was in high school. Imagine if I had ChatGPT. These kids are going to be stupid. There's no studying. You imagine doing homework? No one does homework anymore.
Did you see the new iPad calculator app they announced?
No,
that shit was actually impressive. So like, it's not just a regular calculator. Now you can write equations with the pen in, and it'll solve it for you. Yeah. I was like, yeah, if I had that shit back then, I would have been.
Imagine back in college and shit like that. Remember how like when we were in high school, the moment they finally let us use calculators like during tests, that was like a big thing. We were just like, oh, finally, like because we know we have to do the mental math, but you can't use those advanced calculators because they might do equations for you and stuff like that. Now it's just I'd be terrified if the next generation of doctors is about to do surgery on me. And through college, or politicians, and they got by through college or got through law school because they use ChatGPT. Like it scares me. It really scares me about the future when like you cannot convince me that like that there's a way that I think the education system has a way of preventing this from happening. I think it's only inevitable at this point. So it's got me a little spooked, and this is just showing that gamers are being stupid. Look, I'm not saying that I'm the smartest person in the world, but you know, I'm pretty above there, but above the average intelligence. But I play strategy games. Like I play a lot of RTSs. I play that. I feel like those type of games, like they keep your mind going, right? Like there's only so much of the kind of what you said, the TikTok type shit, the shit where you just see movement, brain goes burr, like you see something move, like the crackhead stuff. Like I think there needs to be that sort of strategy. And I think that so much now, like Gen Z and stuff like that, they just want the crack stuff. Like I want the fast movement, I want the fast this and that, the fast gratification, I want all this sort of stuff. And I think a lot of the tactical shooters, a lot of the the more slower paced stuff, that stuff kind of there's an audience still for it. But I feel like the stuff that requires you to like think before you act and stuff like that, there's just a segment of just people who just will never give that type of game a shot. They just don't want to do that. So,
which is crazy because like if that's what y'all like, why did Titanfall 2 fail? You know, that was all about movement and being cracked out.
You know, these are the questions.
These are the questions we need to understand.
The question.
Freaking, I don't know what the solution is, other than exercise your mind. I think one of my favorite teachers when I was in high school in English, he told me that like one of the biggest lies the education system tells is you have to read X, Y, and Z. And I used to question that shit as a kid. Like I remember one of the first times I questioned the education system was when they tried to make us, I think it was Huckleberry Finn, we had to read that shit. Was that the one where they say nigga in that shit with the hard R? It was one of them old ass. A lot of books where they say it was. I think it was Huckleberry. It was one of them old ass books with some racism in there. I remember saying to the teacher, "I'm like, why would this be good for me to read?" And they were like, "Shut up and read it." I'm like, "All right."
White people told us.
Basically, I'm like,
peak of pin literature.
Like, I don't think this is good for me. But my teacher told me that she's like, as long as you read, you losing your mind. You'll develop your intelligence. So she was like, "What are you into?" I was like, "Comic books." Video games, technology. She was like, all right, we'll bring in magazines, read whatever the fuck you want to read. That's part of the reason why I start my stream off every stream, reading whatever the fuck I want, is to keep my mind exercised and shit. But like a lot of people just be reading headlines on Twitter. And I know they do because they be coming in my chat and they be like, yo, did you see this article? And they'll state the headline and then they'll spread some misinformation in the chat. And I'll be like, well, did you read I don't think you read the article. You just read the headline because this is what it actually said versus the sensationalized.
We are in the age of read the link. We are in the age of misinformation, and it's pretty terrible, pretty scary.
And you used to think it was because of malice, but some of it like just legit be ignorance, which is a shame. Speaking of ignorance, another piece of data I have for you. I know you hate this stuff, Ethos, but I'm becoming a numbers guy, man. According to this study, 69% of gamers admit to smurfing despite hating it. Now, for those unfamiliar, smurfing is cheaters, smurfers. I mean, it's people who they hit a ceiling in their multiplayer career, whatever game they're into, and instead of getting better, what they decide to do is make another account and just go pub stomp on lesser people until they hit that skill-based matchmaking ceiling they're at, then go make another account. Apparently almost 70% of gamers admit that they cheat, basically. What's the name? And then when asked why, they said that one of the reasons why for some people was they wanted to play with less, they wanted to be able to play with their friends, but a good portion of them just said that, they just want to have fun and they just want to beat up on people. And I do believe that's true. I've seen that before where like people want to be able to play with their friends who are like a lower rank. But I think most people just be like cheating. What do you think leads a human being to smurf, JG?
This is an interesting one, but I mean it really does just fall down to I don't want to, quote unquote sweat, every time that I play the game. And when you get to a point where you have a bunch of people at the same skill level as you, and you're constantly having to, play essentially, I guess, harder than you would if you're, playing a lesser lobby with, lesser skill people than you, then you essentially stop having fun in that aspect. And in order to have fun again, then you have to make another account and start from scratch because people love pub stomping. As far as if you're a content creator, then I've seen people say that I made a Smurf account so I can essentially get the good gameplay back when we were in like early days, the gameplay era.
Got a 40 bomb in Call of Duty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, getting all the nukes and stuff. Like a lot of those type of players, like they would make new accounts or Smurf accounts so that they can get the lesser lobby so they can get good gameplay. It's not necessarily that they're bad at the game, but again, once you get to that certain point, you hit that threshold, that plateau, and it ends up being a more not fun type of aspect if you're playing against people with the same skill as you. So that's what I've seen. But it's interesting that like so many people are doing it now, because now you get into a situation where it's a trickle effect. Because you'll make a Smurf account and then somebody else will make a Smurf account and then you're all Smurfs in there and then you still want to end up having fun anyways. Yeah, you'll still see a couple more people at the lower skill level, at the bottom skill level, but if you'll end up seeing somebody else and who you may or may not be identified as a Smurf, and you'll see them doing really well, and then you'll start looking at them like I think this person's a Smurf, but then you're a Smurf as well. So it ends up still being, sort of the same situation, just not as many people in those same lobbies, on your Smurf account versus on your regular account. So it's very interesting. So many people are doing it now. I personally haven't partaken in it, but then again, I don't play ranked a lot in a lot of these video games anyways. So I never really felt the need to.
So basically pro gamers ruin gaming. Gotcha. Ethos. How you feel about Smurfs?
I've got a couple of friends that Smurf, and they Smurf with me.
So say birds of a feather flock together. I knew it.
Yeah,
about it.
I'm just not that good enough. I'm not good enough to need a Smurf account. But I've had multiple friends that like to play with me. They'd have to get a Smurf when we play competitive, just because the systems are just set up that they can't play with us on their main account. So they have to get on their like Smurf account basically so that they can play. Yeah, I think half of it is I think skill-based matchmaking has ruined like that aspect for a lot of people. There is just constantly sweating 24/7. There is no like cooldown period anymore. It's just you have to constantly fight for your life every single match, every single game. So I think some people intentionally do that. I think the reason there's a majority is I think it's a social reason. I just think people want to play with their friends, and you can't consistently have every person in your friend group be all the same consistent skill level. Some people are going to be better than others. Some people are going to be worse than others. So it's like the only way that you can mitigate that problem so that everybody can play. And that's the main thing. People just want to play with their friends. I think it's less of just, I do agree. There's definitely a segment of just competitive people who are just like, I just want to ruin somebody's day. So I'll be a Smurf just so I can ruin their day. But I think I would be shocked if it's not like a majority is more of it's a social reason. They just want to play with their friends and they can't do it with the current account they have. I know it's very rampant in League of Legends and Valorant.
Yeah. I don't really care that much because I'll never take a multiplayer game that seriously. So, but it is interesting to know that a lot of people are doing that. Listen, esports is,
and that they admit it too. They're like, "Hey, man, like we do it, but
I cheat.
We know what's wrong."
I don't give a fuck. I cheat. Which is interesting because an article just came out yesterday, June 14th. That Esports Olympics is set to launch soon. So we got the summer games, the winter games. We might have an esports games. How you guys feeling about that, huh? The Olympic body said that it was in advanced discussions with the potential hosts that should be announced soon after July 23rd to the 24th meeting in Paris for an Esports Olympics. Smurfs on the grand stage? Are you guys excited?
I mean, I think they'll be all right. I mean, they've had X Games introduce video games too, so to have an Esports Olympics, I mean, it'll be interesting depending on what games are in there. Hopefully, they get some fighting games in there too. I may watch if they get some fighting games in there, but anything else, I won't be interested in personally. But I think it'll be all right. It'll be cool.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what games y'all want to see if this does get announced?
Tekken for sure, Street Fighter. Obviously, like Valorant's probably gonna be in there. League of Legends probably gonna be in there.
Valorant.
I want to see Mario Kart.
This guy.
You got something fun. Everything don't got to be super sweaty.
Nintendo hates supporting anything.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I'm about to say they took Smash Brothers on the E3. Yeah. And they don't care about that.
They ruined Smash Bros.
You're right. You're right. Probably Dota 2. Probably StarCraft. I don't know. Is that still popular? StarCraft 2 or something?
No.
That shit's dead.
Blizzard has stopped working on StarCraft. They don't care about that
That
anymore.
shows you how much I know. I don't care about esports. Maybe Call of Duty. I don't know. XDefiant. I don't know.
It'd probably be Valorant. I'd be shocked if it's not Valorant.
Man, all I say is like they better test the players. Make sure to test them for Adderall.
All of them doing Adderall. All of them are 100% doing Adderall.
We need to see suspensions. That's what would get me interested. The drama.
Yeah, like the esports folks get suspended for using PEDs. Like, do they use PEDs?
I think some guy, they found that he had Adderall or something like that outside the game. Like he had a pill for it or something like that. He'd have subscription. I think he got suspended for it.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think it is against the rules. I don't think you doing drugs.
Yeah.
Don't do drugs, kids.
Is very, very bad. Is very, very bad. So look out for that. They said July, there's a potential announcement. Until then, it's all speculation, but I am curious to see how the world would respond I feel like there would be a whole fucking Stephen A. Smith rant on ESPN. The gamers, these people are not, we're going to have that same old argument. These people are not athletes.
Maybe that's how Colin a coward because he was on ESPN and he was like, man, F this, y'all get into esports, I'm out of here, I'm going to fuck
the only reason they're called athletes is because of the government. The US didn't know how to classify it, so they just called them athletes so they could get work visas. That's the only reason that they're called that. Nobody thinks these niggas are athletes. Jesus. And it takes one Google search to find that out. But, you know, ESPN's been on the way down for a while or whatever. He's Fox, right? Colin Coward.
Yeah, he's on Fox.
This one moving into let's move into social justice news. This is Jay's favorite section. I saw you talking about this on stream, so I know you got a lot to say about this one. There's a rumor going around, and when I say rumor, take this with a grain of salt because I ain't seen no clear evidence that Wukong developers rejected a $7 million extortion. Apparently, Sweet Baby Inc. or some type of DEI consultation group said that they were going to expose the developers for something. I guess they did if they didn't take their consultations. And the proof is in these tweets. There's some random screenshots that nobody has links of and random Chinese characters. It was about sexist and slander, sexist attacks basically in the studio or whatever. Do you think this is real or not? Do you think Sweet Baby Inc. is out here extorting Black Myth Wukong?
Man, this is just I was like, where are they getting this stuff from, man? Like the reaching and the grifting is like, it's very strong. And I'm still trying to figure out why. Like, why is there an agenda? Why would Sweet Baby Inc. be going after, a Chinese developer now? Because, the first one was, even though they didn't go after them, but, it was controversy with the South Korean company Shift Up that made Stellar Blade. And now we're going after the Chinese developer. What is truly going on here? I don't think that this is true. And if it is, if there is a slim chance that this is real, again, my question is why? Wukong, is it because ain't no DEI in here, and we don't even know what the full story is. It's involving a monkey king, and I said this on stream, and it was like a monkey, black person. Are you trying to say that we some monkeys? Is that the reason? Is that the DEI in here because it's a monkey king? So I truly don't know. I don't know what DEI that you can possibly put in this game. I don't know why Sweet Baby Inc. or any other consultation company would want to extort this company or work with this company. Again, I'm just asking why, and nobody really has the answer. They're just saying that this is a rumor or this is true. We're talking about stupid people, stupid gamers. As soon as this person said that, they literally started off the tweet saying rumor, and then they linked their own article that's here now, and literally the majority of the comment section, they were like, "Oh yeah, get them woke folks." I'm like, bro, it's a rumor. I'm the source. And I'm the source. This is how dumb people, because they want it to be real, and this is the problem that we're experiencing right now. People who are on that side, who they let their emotions like run rampant with them, this is what we're dealing with now. Like, and they're coming from like all fronts. Like, this is becoming more of a cancer because there are more and more people who are believing this crap that people are spewing at them, and their emotions are taking them to essentially a point of no return. Like, because again, if this isn't true, you know, they'll move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and they're going to keep going until they find that one win. They're going to take all these L's, but then once they get that one win, and like I said, I'm waiting to see what game that Sweet Baby Inc. or any DEI consultation company makes now going forward. That's a AAA game that ends up being bad. Just so they can say, you know, hey, you know, DEI, because they were consultating this game, that this game ended up flopping or whatever. I'm waiting on that one just to see how they act. But until then, this is just all speculation. We're just going off of straight emotions here and rumors. They're just hoping that it's true. And if it is, again, they're going to get their one dub. They're going to do their little Kendrick victory lap. And then it's just going to be all hell for everybody else going forward.
Spider-Man 2 was game of the year to you PlayStation niggas until you found out Sweet Baby Inc. worked on it. Now it's the worst game ever. Which one is it? I don't know, man. Like, it's just hard to, like, if you really feel like you have an argument to make or like a fight to, you got to learn the art of fighting, picking your battles, basically. And this is just not a credible article. It's just some random tweet. I hate the fact that everybody can buy a check mark, because that's really what it is. Everybody can buy a check mark. And for those of you unaware, on Twitter, when you buy the check mark off rip, you get a 2 to 3 times boost on your post. And then this is how the algorithm works. And then if you have a picture in it, you get another 2 to 4 times boost. And there's something else that'll boost it too. So like, you can stack these boosts in the algorithm just by doing simple things. And it all started with that check mark. So now, like, I get stuff on my For You page from people that I would never follow, I would never engage with, just seeing stupid shit, bro. Like, I remember a few weeks ago, I think we talked about it on the podcast, like somebody had posted Microsoft is trying to buy Valve. The source was like, the source was some nigga in a forum that said, yo, I think Microsoft's trying to buy Valve. It was just some nigga, some GameStop employee just talking. There was nothing, but it had a check mark. It ended up on my For You page, had like 5,000 likes. It was going viral. And I'm like, bruh, this is getting fucking ridiculous. Now, if this is true, that sucks. It's a bad thing, but like, this just doesn't look real. And then you have my thing is, if it's real, where's the link to the tweet with the Chinese characters? You got a screenshot of the fucking thing, bruh. Where's the fucking link to the tweet? So you should have the link. Yeah, so we can expect it. We can inspect the source for ourselves. It's like, y'all just Photoshop it. It's getting weird. It's getting really weird, man. And like Jay said, I don't even know why would Sweet Baby Inc. work with Wukong? This is a Chinese folktale. What the fuck does this have to do with anything? What are you talking about?
Like, they're just stuck on this whole ESG thing. Like, they're really trying to push the narrative that Sweet Baby Inc. and other consultation companies are a part of this whole ESG scheme in order to infiltrate all of our favorite video games and just ruin them. And again, what is the point? What will be the point of doing all of this? Like, why would you essentially ruin all of these video games? Because the point is that these games are successful. If you have a hand in it, you want these games to be successful, and you want these games to make money. So why would you intentionally ruin all of these games and just down them to the point of all hell and make everybody upset? This makes no sense. I don't understand what the grand scheme, what the motive would be behind this. So it's weird, and we're in some weird shit, man.
Would you ever think about making maybe a Sweet Baby Samurai Ethos?
I already am a Sweet Baby. What are you talking about?
Whoa. I feel that. So I don't know. Take that shit with a grain of salt. I don't think that shit is real. What is real though is my last social justice warrior article I got for you. So Assassin's Creed Shadows got announced the last podcast, and obviously we got the gameplay. And what we didn't get to talk about in the last podcast was all the backlash that happened, because one of the main characters is a black samurai named Yasuke, an actual historical figure that's shrouded in mystery because back then, there wasn't a lot of writing. He's been featured in a lot of different video games, media. Over there in Japan, they love him. Matter of fact, didn't you watch a video about like some weird ass YouTuber that was like asking Japanese people, JG, about what they thought about Yasuke?
Yeah. the founder of Sweet Baby Inc. detected on the Steam group, which basically was the main catalyst of this whole movement that we're talking about now. He actually went to Japan with one of his followers, and they actually asked random Japanese people on the street, what they thought about the trailer, and they asked, do you think the Yasuke represents your historical accuracy? And a lot of them didn't know about Assassin's Creed at all, or didn't know about this video game that was coming out, and didn't really know about their own history either. So I was like, he was interviewing a lot of people, and none of them said that they hated what they saw. So I'm like, bro, how much more information, how much more do you need that to let you know that people don't really care? Like, in the grand scheme, like, the internet is not real. You're in your bubble over here. You think that it's real, and you think that people actually care. But in reality, you ask people on the street and they don't give a fuck. Like, either they say, it's okay, I'm slightly interested in it, or I actually like it. Like, I want to play the game. So
it's funny too, because wasn't Yasuke in Neo?
Yes, he was in Neo. He's in Samurai Warriors.
He's in multiple games he's in it.
Well, I just had a whole anime.
I just think it's especially funny he's in Neo, and I know a lot
Japanese
of them,
developers, mind you, Japanese developers
who made a game that starred in it. He was either English or Irish. He was a white dude in a damn samurai ninja game, but it also had, you like Yasuke in that one, but it was because the main character was white, but whatever. Anyways, I just think it's funny he was in that one. But anyways, yeah, one of the head developers at Ubisoft kind of responded to it, and he basically said that he wrote out a bunch of like mean tweets, but then he deleted them because, he didn't want to feed into the hatred. And then he went on to say that because he was upset that basically Elon Musk was saying that Assassin's Creed Shadows is the woke mind virus. This dude is really been on a tear recently. I don't know if it's because it's election season, but this nigga's been wilding, Elon. And then he said, what Elon says is not the game that we're building. People will have to play the games for themselves. And if within the first 11 minutes and 47 seconds, they're not convinced of what we're doing, we can have that discussion. I was reviewing the game very recently, and I was like, the answer's there. I just hope and wish that people can keep an open mind about this and see the game for what it is. It's an Assassin's Creed game, and I believe that's the best one we've ever built. So basically he's saying like, yo, try kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Like, there's this new genre of gamers that just fucking hate everything. And this is why Marvel Rivals came out with that contract, because some games don't even get a chance to fucking, make some money and thrive because people are just trying to bury it, bruh, for fucking views. I like the answer. He's like, man, just try the game. Give it a fucking try. What you think, Ethos, about all this drama?
Yeah, no, I agree. It's ridiculous. Just give it a game a try. Like I said, I'm so tired of people jumping the gun with every single game before it comes out, acting like it's going to be ass and irrelevant and all this sort of stuff, and going to be dead on arrival. Just wish people would just stop like letting people fall for like grifting. I just really wish people would just be fucking smart and start thinking for themselves. And it's kind of funny that these same motherfuckers are always be talking about, oh, I think for myself and I don't let the woke hive mind tell me what to do. And you're literally doing the same thing. It's kind of funny. I'm watching. I don't know if you guys have been watching The Boys, but they're currently talking about that right now. Pretty funny. Same thing they're talking about in politics. The exact same thing they're doing in gaming right now. Mind
virus. They're all a bunch of fucking parrots with talking points, and then when you actually give an intellectual response to one of their talking points,
or you counter it, yeah, they break down.
They malfunction. They malfunction, bro. Like, it's fucking funny to watch, dude.
Or they just repeat themselves over and over again. The same point, they just repeat it over and over again.
Mm-hmm. These are weird times, man. These are weird times. I don't know what the solution is other than ignore them. You gotta stop giving people.
It's hard to at times, man. But I'm gonna keep milking. I'm gonna be the anti-woke person here until I get my watch sound because it's working. So, but wait, y'all keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep countering y'all points and call y'all fucking losers because that's what y'all are. But Elon better chill out though, because it's terrible that like he's on this whole train now. I'm like, bro, you are literally the owner of Twitter /X. So I would like for you to be saying that stuff, bro. Like, I don't know.
Train, though. He's always been on this bullshit for a while, though. Remember he called that fucking dude a pedophile? The submarine dude when they was trying to save those kids in India.
My issue with him is he's not even American. Yo, he's been getting really involved in like things going over here. I'm like, yo, shut the fuck up, bro. This shit don't got nothing. And this is how I have an issue with them on that other side. Y'all are so pro-American until a nigga from another country agrees with y'all, then that patriotism shit goes out the door. He's like, yeah, he's right. Wait a minute. Of course a white South African that comes from the era of apartheid would agree that the woke mind virus is Yasuke. Like, what the fuck are we talking about, bro? Of course he's got a goddamn agenda. I don't want to hear that shit.
It's bad because again, he's another one. Like literally, like it's no way that people can avoid your tweets. Like people can avoid other people's tweets, but you tweeting, like you need to chill out.
I got that motherfucker blocked. I ain't got to see none of that.
You said you bought the site for freedom of speech. It looking like you pushing an agenda to me.
Yeah, that's what always happens. You say you claim freedom of speech, but here you go. You got your own
freedom for your speech. That's really what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. Hey, I'm still buying Assassin's Creed. The game looked good to me. I said the sad thing. I'm into like this. The sad thing about all this political shit in these games is I feel like a lot of y'all are missing out on really good games because y'all been brainwashed. Like it's to a point where like y'all not even having fun no more, and that's a sad reality. You need if you really feel like everything is being DEI'd the fuck up, find a new hobby.
Did you see that? Did you see that Twitter interaction that Jason Schreier had with Suicide Squad, where he said, "I interviewed like 10 devs currently, or like anonymously about why Suicide Squad failed, right? Like why I ran into all these issues." And like they went through and somebody tried to reply to it and was like, "Jason, I find it very disingenuous as you as a journalist didn't bring anything about SBI and bring up about the Sweet Baby influence about how that ruined it." And he's like I said, I'm reporting everything that happened in reality, what actually happened. And he was like, that's so disingenuous. You're telling me that all that shit happened and none of that was relevant? He was like, yeah, no, that's bullshit. I've interviewed 12 developers and not one of them brought up anything about Sweet Baby or anything at all. And they were just like, they were just mind blown over this. Like, oh no, this is just bullshit. It can't be true. And I'm like, this is how crazy that you guys got. You've gone so far that like, it's literally a guy who interviews actual people who worked on it. You refuse to believe that, like, no, this had nothing to do with it. Like, you guys are just being grifted the entire time. It's
a lot of people who have a hard time believing sometimes it's not that deep. It's no different than like the people were like, you remember how we had worked on Anthem and we gave all that feedback and they didn't listen to none of it. But like, there's a lot of people out there that just believe that like, oh yeah, they were gassing this shit up and they're like, yo, what if the developers just didn't listen?
I always have to correct people all the time. I'd be like, show me how I gassed it up. And then they never can. They say, oh, well, didn't you class up Anthem? I'm like, all right, show me the video where I gassed it up.
I've never said I love that game.
If you literally go to the video where I fucking talk about Anthem, I literally said, hey, I'm being completely honest with you on this. I'm going to show you the gameplay. I'm going to talk about what the game is and what it's like to answer questions of what people had. I did an entire live stream. Now, once did I say, yo, the game is fire. It's going to be the greatest game of all time. I said it has some potential. That's all I said. But, people just say, it's always just a gotcha game for a lot of people. It's if you get wrong about one thing, everything's black and white. It can't be no middle. It can't be no, just like the whole thing about character growth, where it's like you can say you don't like something or that you do like something, and then as time goes on, you realize like you didn't like it, and then people will be like, but you said and this thing that years ago, and now you change your opinion. You can't do that. Like, it's a whole thing.
So it's just the best to enjoy what you want, do what the fuck you want, because people are crazy. That's all I got on my show notes. You got anything y'all want to add before we wrap this one up?
Another long pod, man. I mean, this one was warranted though, because it was a lot that we had to cover.
The next one probably gonna be long too, because that's the Elden Ring episode.
Man.
Depending on what other news I got, it's gonna be interesting. But yeah, that's all I got on the show notes. So this has been episode 156. JG, you got the floor. What's your closing statement for Gaming Illuminati episode 156? Go.
I appreciate everybody. Listen, by the time you see this pod, we are going to be into Elden Ring, Shadow of the Earth Tree. So, like I said, just prepare, man. It's about to be an amazing time for gaming, man. Like I said, I don't know about the people who hate every single video game, but you can stay over there. We're gonna be on Elden Ring. I don't care about what you play. We over here gaming.
Ethos, closing statement 156. Go.
Thanks everybody for watching, all that jazz. I'm gonna be not playing video games apparently, but we'll see when I live stream this shit. We'll see how good I am. I haven't touched the game for 2 years, so I'm going in completely dry. So we'll see.
Okay.
See, he said he's cooked, by the way. So you don't want to tell.
I was talking to him yesterday. He said he's really what's the word? Rusty. I mean, it's been years. It's been a few years. My closing statement for episode 156 is for the next episode. We definitely will be talking about Elden Ring and whatever is like the latest news. So if there are any content creators out there that you are interested in seeing as a guest on the show that's passionate about Elden Ring, leave their name in the comment section below. Matter of fact, on YouTube, you can tag people with the @ tag them. Let's see if we can get them on the show. If it's somebody who makes sense, I think that would be cool. That's that's all I got for you. We appreciate you guys checking out episode 156 of the Game Illuminati podcast. We will see you on the next one. Peace.